Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in negative territory for the second straight morning as we come into more tech-led negativity. We saw all the big name tech shares to the downside to start on Monday in a big way. That move continuing this morning. Pick one. It's going to be in negative territory if it's a big part of the NASDAQ. On the month, we're still somewhat split. The NASDAQ down about 4% and change. If you include this morning, the Dow still up 2.5% on the other side of things as people continue to rotate away from high valuation growth stocks into value plays that will benefit from economies reopening and the pandemic starting to slow. On the economic front this morning, we're going to get another look at the job market in the U.S. with the Labor Department's job openings and labor turnover survey that's coming out. Another key look at how things are stabilizing after the pandemic following that big jobs miss back on Friday. So many earnings to get through this morning. That 3D printer, triple D, DDD, we'll have a look at that. They reported Roblox, Palantir, Space, all pretty negative at this point. It's Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Yeah, look at how things are looking at this point this morning. Pretty negative, as I mentioned, 1.3 for the S&P. You can see the NASDAQ already 2% to the downside. TSX futures here in Toronto, 1.2% to the downside. The only thing still holding up in positive territory right at the bottom there, Ethereum still in pretty good shape. 0.5% to the upside. We'll talk about cryptos coming up here. Want to kick things off with some merger news here, guys. It looks like Domtar is being bought. UFS, Paper Excellence buying Domtar for $55.50 per share in cash. That just came out at 8:30, so we'll squeeze that one in. So if you're looking at UFS, it was halted pre-market news pending. So there you go.
I feel like they should have waited.
Yeah, someone waiting on 8:30, I guess, to release.
So I just went long Palantir. It says Palantir accepts Bitcoin as payment, may invest in it too. Payment for what? Like, so anyways, Palantir right now. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I can't believe I just saw that for Palantir. So we're just going to go Puke City. We go long on some of that news there. I don't know what that means. We just took that long. And Neil, today, man, I've already tweeted out there a little video. And I don't apologize because we can't control this market. But all of the stocks today, like NEO is at $30 right now. Neil,
I can one-up you, man.
I don't really know. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Virgin Galactic said 14.23. Looks like I picked the wrong day to quit amphetamines, so I'm going to drop a few movie references. I actually gave, Valeria was asking me this morning, it's kind of not that funny, but do you think Tesla will get above 600? And I was like, I'll give it one chance in 3, because that was Sean Connery from Hunt for Red October basically saying they got no chance. Now, this is not to say that this is going to be a watershed moment today, but obviously, it's not. The market's down a couple of percent here in the NASDAQ, and we're down 1% plus in the ES, but the Dow's not actually faring that poorly. So you look overall at some of the boring stocks, and they're doing okay. This is one of those days where I don't care, and I tweeted this out, whether you're sitting on the sidelines, whether you're going to be actively trading today, whatever it is, these days are really big learning experiences as a trader. Like, you want to be engaged. Even if you're paper trading today, I don't really care. Like, this is your chance to see how this market reacts off of news like this. Now, we knew with earnings, everyone's beating and showing fantastic numbers, and it didn't matter in the tech space, where you saw what happened with Square. Unbelievable quarter. And they still went to the downside. So the same thing, we're seeing it play out this week. You want to see the reaction in some of these names, like how they're able to bounce. Is it one of those flush outs where we're able to pick some bottoms, or are we just going to find ways to be able to short? And for anything that you're considering, do I want it in my portfolio? A day like today, if it's down 10% or it's getting crushed, ask yourself, do I want to own this company in 5 years? That's the thing that you should put yourself to the test to for some of these. And then for others, there could be buying opportunity when there's blood in the water if you want to hold it for that 5 years. But it is going to be obviously a volatile day in trading, and I think it's going to be a learning experience for basically everybody, because for some of these symbols, we've never traded them in this environment before. Usually it's been only to the upside. So, it's one of those. It's weirdly exciting for a trader because you know you're going to be put to the test a little bit. So I'm kind of excited today.
Okay, I was just checking on Palantir here, guys. The earnings obviously out this morning. Looks like it's still underway. It started at 8 a.m. Eastern, so that might be something that's coming out of the earnings call here. We'll talk about the earnings itself, obviously coming up here in a second, but just be careful. But Palantir, still a few things trickling out here for PLTR. Let's get over to the desk before we kick things off and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, everyone. I wish us all a positive day. Stay safe, and please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Okay, so yeah, the actual quote here: we are thinking and having internal discussions about having Bitcoin on our balance sheet. That is from so it was what I said from the conference call there, guys, for PLTR.
I mean, I've already tweeted it out here and I saw this ASL, I think, there on the chat made a good point. I had to put it out here. It was this. So here's the headline, right? Palantir accepts Bitcoin as payment. I don't know if that's true based on what Brendan just said there. They're thinking about putting it on their balance sheet. And this is the thing, like, I have no idea why they're mentioning this. I feel like it's a story to try to save the sinking ship here. What up, Kathy Wood? So hopefully she can help us out here. Yeah, like, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I think that it's just like, I'm already, and I think a lot of us that own Palantir and that think of it as a future, and I think Neil already, said the right words there, that, if you're looking for short-term plays, I don't think there's going to be much here today as far as trying to go longs and pick bottoms. A lot of these moves have 3 days to them. I've said that over and over again. So I think we'll try to pick Palantir up maybe in the third day, maybe some today if you're just nibbling. But it's been just a nasty ride. And I think that maybe they're just mentioning Bitcoin there to get the pop to try to save this stock. Because, like, I'm already invested in Bitcoin. I don't want Palantir to therefore be also having to worry about Bitcoin on that side of things. Like, what if Bitcoin goes down 10%? Then all of a sudden it's justified when Palantir drops 10%. Like, I'm not down with that kind of stuff. So I'm not cutting bait. I still love Palantir. I would still pick it now for the play of the next couple years. So I like Palantir. I don't like Neo. I don't like Fisker. I don't like a lot of these EV spaces today. I do like Neil. I do like DraftKings. You mentioned some stocks that maybe be getting killed. I like Square at some of these levels as well. And we have a big watch list, so we'll go over it. I actually haven't even, I've looked at the watch list, but I already told, like, my sticky note today was just more, I'm trying to find all these stocks, find the ones that can move, and then we'll watch to see what the NASDAQ does against some of these names. Because for right now, I think it's crazy to look at levels and say, oh, like, here's Square. Like, if Square gets back above 209, I'm going to go long. I don't know if that is the right play today for me to be sort of going with. So I want to watch to see the momentum. We could get a rip your face off open, right? And then we could maybe sell that. So let's wait to see what happens. I'm working on a sticky note. If I do find any real key levels, I'll put them in.
To just double check on this UFS for anyone wondering, it's still halted, but we'll see when we get a resumption time on UFS. Domtar, guys, 55.50 in cash. Domtar being bought there. But let's maybe have a little thought here as far as the overall market is concerned. It's going to be an interesting day. Obviously, we talked briefly there about Palantir, but as far as the overall sentiment coming in this morning, definitely more negative right across the board, it feels, than we've been dealing with for the past couple of sessions.
Obviously, and it's sort of worth noting, it's heavily concentrated in a few names. And you're gonna look at your board, and if it's so heavily, that's the thing. Like, my core board is going to be a lot of day trading stocks, so it's going to be heavily concentrated in a lot of those day trading names. People are rightfully pointing out the Qs. I'll just throw the Qs up here, but I could have thrown the NASDAQ, I suppose. Probably should have. Breaking through like the 50 period, and the momentum really starting to bleed out. But for the most part, if you're going to be, and this is why it's a little tricky with some of those key levels, if you get a sentiment like this, and I put it in the back of my mind, and maybe it's only like a 20% chance that you actually have one of these flush outs in the morning, and then there's a bit of a bottom. Now, it's nothing to do with that. First of all, it has nothing to do with that Bitcoin story. But I was sitting down here and watching Palantir in particular because it's one of those names that sort of involved. And like right at 8 o'clock, you get like this 80 to 90 cent just pop. And of course, a lot of that has to do with like the retail, run up and start trading at 8. But The question becomes, are there going to be some names that have this, oh my goodness, this is just entirely too far, and then they just randomly start bouncing because no one wants to get out of the way of it. No one wants to get in the way of these things if they start coming up. When you get down like 10, 15% on the session, when you've been down so fervently in the last little bit, we have seen these sort of pop off the open before, so you have to have that in the back of your mind before just digging in. Like, I can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, whatever, man, I'll short Virgin Galactic into 15 because I think it's still going to be heading downside. You probably have to take that kind of a trade off, in my opinion, because if it breaks at 15, like you could be at 16 in an absolute heartbeat. Like I'd rather just play into some more momentum to the downside on a name that I think is going to be entirely beaten up, as opposed to just standing in front of the train. If some of these things start to tick to the upside, I don't necessarily want to get caught short too close to the bottom, unless I have a really, really tight stop, which is fine. I think in this case, like, it's not crazy, like 15. In a different example, I probably would have said it would be okay to take like a 75 short in front of like a 15. It's just that Virgin Galactic so far down, that's one of the last ones I would want to get caught in at the bottom, even if I don't think it's necessarily going up today.
Yeah, I don't know where to start, Brendan. I mean, I keep coming back to, like, I'm looking here at Microsoft. I just said the other day that I didn't think we would see that 244 again. And I mean, it went to 250. How did it go the other day? I don't know. This was before 253 or something. A couple days ago. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about today. And then here we are today. So, I mean, I have Microsoft on a 20-minute chart right now. If there's going to be anything, I know I dipped in to some Apple just because I was underweight Apple compared to Facebook and Microsoft and Google. So I did step into some more Apple yesterday. You heard that. Was not expecting this kind of a drop today. I actually just funded my account a little bit more. So I'll be making some moves today. So pay attention to my Twitter after the show when I'm allowed to trade. But 244, we're downside again. Like this is where we dipped not too long ago, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got in here right here. And then we bounced right back. Yeah, there's that 255. So we're back here. We're going to open even a little bit lower today. So this is what I'm talking about. We got to extend the charts a lot further back to find some key levels. The big one for me today, and we were shorting this name yesterday. We've been short NEO for a very, very long time as a favorite of short. I'm not short in my own account, but there's that level that we broke yesterday. I mean, it's broke today, basically, that 34. And you can see what happens. This is not on earnings or anything, guys. This is just NEO making moves. So down to 30.50, you do have this 27 area. And then, like, honestly, if this is I said 3-day, like if this was yesterday day one or is today day one? Like yesterday we sort of just got starting in the afternoon. So whether or not we revisit 26, maybe down to 20 on this name, DraftKings is another name that's getting pumped. Look, this is a lot of doom and gloom right now, right? But there are a lot of names that are up. We did talk about that. Hopefully you diversified a little bit. I know Neil's been talking about US Steel for a while. JP Morgan is the bank that I own. I own Bank of Nova Scotia here in Canada. All of these are at all-time highs. So everything's good, man. Like we still have McDonald's. We still have a lot of stock. That's why I hold 30 names. But it's just in these swing accounts where we thought we were finding bottoms. Brendan, the bottom's not in yet, my friend. And I don't know when it's coming, but we're going to have to pick something up in the next couple of days.
Yeah, going to be an interesting few days. We don't want to keep them waiting, guys. Jeff Mendel joining us from OTC Markets, VP of OTC Markets, joining us once again to discuss a little bit of structure today. Jeff, good to see you, by the way. It's been a couple of weeks. Great to have you back on the show. We had a great question come through that I wanted to give to you right off the bat here. The difference between the listings on the OTC market, so we know there's the QX, we know there's the QB. What defines each of those, and how do companies, get put into either the QX or the QB?
So, good morning, Brendan and Sean and Neil. But so actually, that's a great way to start off the day because I was actually planning on doing that myself, and also let you know that we're actually coming up on a huge milestone in QX where next time I'm on, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But to answer your question though, so think of QX like our premier marketplace, right? So these are established companies that meet all of the, or majority of the financial standards and also reporting requirements that a NASDAQ or NYSE company would as well too. And then think of ventures kind of like the TSX ventures or the CSE, right? And so these are kind of less established companies that start up and they're really going into the secondary market for the first time to try and raise some money.
Great stuff. Let's discuss what has been popular over the past couple of weeks. Why don't we talk a little bit about that milestone you were mentioning first, though, Jeff?
Like I said, so in a couple of weeks I'll come back on and maybe I'll share some pictures. But you know, it's very big news for us, and we've had a lot of work put into QX and QB. Like I said, we're about to hit a milestone. I'll let you know more next time, but we're very excited about it. So anyway, actually, let me jump into a couple of our QX companies right now. So we always talk about ETHE and GBTC as the grayscale premier products, but another one's popping up on the radar, and it's ETCG. That's the Ethereum Classic Trust, and lots of volume going into that name the past few days because the crypto markets are not hitting bottoms like some of the names that Sean and Neil were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this kind of shift in focus from the traditional equities and the momentum stocks. Seems like right into the cryptocurrency markets are taking over as far as what people are looking at on a daily basis. I'm going to bring in the guys here in a couple seconds, but give us that symbol one more time, so in case people missed it there.
ETCG. It's the Ethereum Classic Grayscale Trust.
Great.
ETCG.
So if people want to have a look at, have access, first of all, to the OTC markets, they can check out Ethereum. All-time highs again yesterday, so a nice move in Ethereum over the past couple of days. Has there been, 2 or 3 other symbols maybe that have been gaining momentum or gaining attention as far as volume in the past couple of days, Jeff?
10 cent's been getting hit down a little bit the past couple of days. Yesterday, I think it was down around 5%. We also have a couple other ADRs. We like to talk about Nintendo a lot. I remember this time last year, right? Actually, Nintendo's on a little upswing right now. But that Roche, BMW. So all kind of like the typical names that trade over here in the over-the-counter space.
Mr. Mendo, thank you for joining us. I don't like the fact that you're teasing this milestone, but I'm going to say preemptive congratulations, whatever it is, as I see you can't get that smile off your face there. So I'm still excited to have you visit us and come live in studio. And I just want to let all of our viewers know, Jeff was actually one of our very first, maybe our very first guest. And I'm sure you remember, Jeff, you've told the story before of you and I sitting around, this circular table discussing some of these very same names that you mentioned today. And I want to thank you for you and the OTC's continued support of tradertv.live.
No, and thank you guys as well too.
So 10 cent, this is really the unique thing about the OTC market, and it's great that you and Brendan talked about the different listings and the categories, because you have some huge rock solid company. Like 10 cent is a major corporation, and of course overseas, just like Nintendo. And although you do get stocks that get delisted, that are going through funding and different issues like that, that's obvious. But you do have some huge names. 10 cent, just another one. And I just want to give people, I've traded 10 cent a lot. As well as Nintendo, Roche, a lot of those stocks that you've already mentioned. And I just want to give our viewers, there's a lot of consistency and confidence that we have in these names. They trade very well. There's a lot of liquidity there. And, on a dip like this, instead of saying, I want to stay away from maybe the OTC markets, I just want to give our viewers a chance that there's a lot of confidence in a lot of these names, right? Some of these names have been listed with you guys, I'm assuming, for decades and decades, and have a lot of backing there behind the original, because they're ADRs, right? So they're over there in China, in Japan, things like that. So do you get a lot of volume, especially on days like today, of people piling into some of these tech names that are really major caps just overseas?
We that actually comprises the majority of our marketplace. So I think 10 years ago, if you look at the dollar volume traded, it was about 10% international. Now it's up to 90% and only 10% domestic. So it's a ton of activity in names like Tencent and Roche, and it's steady, and it's the sticky volume that your traders can go to every day and trade using OTCX, which is our ECN, and readily available to all the traders on Trader TV.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to bring up as well, that you guys are making the market in a lot of these names. And I just for an example, now I know the spread is large here, and I don't know if you can even see this, but OTC right now is even, and I know the market's not open yet. We could discuss pre-market trading, but we could do that another show. But even right here, this is the gateway you're talking about, OTCX. So even on Nintendo, you still are making the market here, basically the level one, going into the market open here as well. 10 cent, you guys are right here at the best offer and the best bid. So I just wanted to, give people a shout out that there's a lot of liquidity here on the OTC markets, and thank you for keeping it consistent. And again, knock on wood, but the market's running really smooth. Although we have these down days, a very great opportunity to step in there and buy. Have you hit the links yet? We still can't even golf here in Ontario, Jeff.
It's getting a little crazy up there. So yes, actually we had a huge tournament out in New Jersey last week. There were about 120 golfers and another 50 that wanted to join us, but we just didn't have the space to do it. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good to get back to normal. I didn't want to rub it in, but you brought it up.
Oh, that's okay. So my invite must have got lost in the mail, which is completely fine. We are having some mail problems, so I'll look for that. I'll probably get it a little bit later. But thank you, Jeff. Neil, did you have any comments for our friend down south?
All I gotta say, I just want to say congratulations on whatever it may be, the upcoming milestone that you've made there, Jeff. And look, you've been a friend of the family for so long. And thank you for answering some of these questions, because a lot of people trade in the OTC and aren't familiar with the symbology as well. So as always, a fantastic guest, and look to have you back soon. Can't wait.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades for today. You can see all the names that are on the watch list if you had a look at the watch list. Going to be on here, or a lot of them anyways. Virgin, down significantly here in the pre-market, but getting a price target increase. Nike's on here, Roblox, that PPG. BioNTech, big mover yesterday, down on the Pfizer news. So Pfizer getting approval for 12 to 15 in the U.S. for their vaccine, so down on that. Beyond Meat and Smile Direct, guys.
Yeah, I mean, of the upgrades that make sense to me there, you can talk about Nike for sure. That makes all the world of sense. When you talk, this daily chart hates me today. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, you can sort of see the story enough, I guess, if I do this to you guys. You're breaking above this 135. It's actually up on the session, and we'll talk about this. You'll probably see this from time to time when we talk about the old boring companies. I guess Nike is an old boring company these days. Whether it's going to be and we talked about healthcare before, we talked about the banks, or whether it's going to be in consumer goods here or discretionary. This is what's holding up. So you have something in some of these names, usually in your portfolio, and they'll hold up a little bit nicer on days like today. Possibly, Nike has been in this slight range to the upside and trying to sort of break back out. Now, keep in mind, if you can ever scalp $1 or $2 out of this on an intraday basis, you're usually pretty happy with it. I'm not sure there's going to be a day trade there, but I just wanted to point out, this is an example of a company in upgrade, because they're also going to benefit from the reopen. This is a great long-term play. Also, probably during this rotation, looks pretty good. As far as Virgin Galactic getting an upgrade from this standpoint, I suppose it's easy to say it's down 80, 75% from the top, or whatever that works out to. So it's going to go up. Why not? That's not a bad gamble to say that. But some of these late movement on some of these analyst moves I find a little bit irrelevant. Does it really matter? Smile Direct, you saw they had earnings as well, not on our watch list, but to the downside. I think I'll be watching a little bit of Virgin Galactic, but I'm not thinking it goes to 32 anytime soon.
Yeah, okay, basically, okay, there goes Palantir. At least we have that one for a little bit of a long here to the upside. I wanted to talk, I don't know, Brendan, do we want to go through some of the lists here? We were talking, the first thing on our watch list is big cap tech. So did you want to throw to that, or you want me just to take it there?
That is yesterday's, but we can jump into some earnings names first on the list today. Palantir Technologies, guys, going to be number one today. Obviously, there's a bunch to get through, so if you have not, make sure you jump in and sign up for our absolutely free to you watch list that we send out every morning before we come on at 8:30. Palantir, guys, this is an interesting one, I feel. Overall, it was a loss, but it was kind of in line with expectations. It was less than it was last year. Cash flow was kind of in line with expectations. What do we think here for PLTR?
Look, we like it for long term. We've been saying that for a while. If you looked at the 50-period moving average, ever since it had this problem, and we called this out on the show back when it was $24, $25, and we didn't crack that right there. Obviously, you know, this waterfall action, we don't expect that. The earnings, I mean, you just went over some of them there. They just went public, rose 341 million revenues for the quarter. Cash flow 117 was up 404 million year over year. These numbers are great. Company also forecasting 360 million versus expected 342. Operating margin 23%, 49% jump in quarterly revenue. That's nice. Down 10%, right? So, I mean, whether or not these companies are going to work in the next couple of days, I'm going to say no. You may have this clean bottom now. I'm hoping this is the bottom, like 14 year. We did have some consolidation before. Again, brand new. If we get back down to 10, like, it was a wild ride up and down. I'd hate to see that happen. But again, with just what's happening in the marketplace now, good report. Look, we saw AMD come out and crushed it. I thought DraftKings Donkey Kong did really well. I thought, you know, that Apple quarter was an absolute monster as well. And Apple failed to make 52-week highs, new all-time highs on that report. Thought they should have, right? Microsoft, we've already seen all these reports. And unfortunately, Amazon had a crazy double top as well. So, you know, when you look, I mean, we can look at Amazon as well right now. There's a lot of names that reported fantastic numbers. Amazon's numbers were ridiculous.
They look great.
It was 44%
at 3,100. Like, that's on the shopping list.
You know, and look, I mean, here's the daily chart. It doesn't look great on this daily chart. Maybe I can call up another one. But you can see here, 3,600. Here it is. I'll call this up on another chart. Like, what was wrong with Amazon right now? Like, you know, more people ordering from them. They have Prime. They have everything going, everything moving. They come out with an amazing quarter. But look at this. Top, top, top. So I said double, how about triple top there, 3,500. Now it's back, screaming back down to 31. So just take off the zeros. This is a $35 stock down to 31. Is it worth panicking? Probably not. But why is that happening? If a solid company like Amazon is going to continue to get wrecked, then yeah, I do think that a stock like Palantir, DraftKings, some of these other high flyers are just going to fall down with it. So if you have a shopping list out right now, I think you got to dip into, I mean, Palantir, it doesn't matter, but you know, Palantir was picked on CNBC as one of the draft picks as well by Kevin O'Leary, actually. So, you know, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of talk about a lot of these names. And I just like Palantir for the long term. Do I think that it's worth, now I can't get it to load up. Do I think it's worth stepping into right now? Probably, if you're just starting. But I do think that we could test this mid-14 area. So right now we have a 20-cent winner on board, but you know, I don't really have too much hope. I only really took this because of the Bitcoin shenanigan talk. So you know, we may just take this profit right now. We will check the imbalances soon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, getting too far into, like, you know, the momentum play is definitely going to be a good one here. I think if you make this, it's a reverse of, I guess, when we do that, like, short into any kind of, like, strength. And so my gut tells me that if there's, like, a catastrophic fall that can hold, like, the first level or something like that, and you get a snap back up, that would be something to watch. So I kind of look at this 1635 double bottom on Palantir as one of those beat-up names. And if somehow this gets sold off and maybe, like, fail breaks 1635 at the open, doesn't break 16, and then comes back to the upside, I think from that standpoint, I'd be looking around this like 1675 or even back at that like 25, 35 is a bit of a long idea. And it's the complete reverse of when you short into that type of move when it fails to break up. So because everything's down, you're going to see a bit of a reversal in terms of the strategy for some of the momentum plays. But it's hard to ignore Palantir in a day trade today. Because the volume is going to be so big. It's just the same way I don't think I'll be able to completely ignore Virgin Galactic because there's going to be so much open interest in trading it after the earnings that we're going to have some kind of a plan. But you know, I'm not married to either direction today. But I'd love to see a failed J. Like, that would be the ideal. The ideal situation is to get that failed jailbreak down because there's so much room to cover to the upside. Like, that probably gives you probably the cleanest trade. And let's hope for a little bit like that. I think I just saw a 100,000 share order. It's 17 on the buy side of Palantir from Raw. We'll check the imbalances when it gets closer, though.
All right, let's bring in Arun here and have a quick look at the overall market, heading back towards session lows here for the S&P. It's been pretty negative to start things off so far, Arun. I mean, we were talking about 4,200 yesterday. Here we go. We're on the way back to 4,100, it seems.
Yeah. So yesterday I said we were talking about 42.4 or 40 or so was as a stop potential on the short side, and then I said if we ever get to the 4,200, it opens up a can of worms that I don't want to deal with unless we get there. Well, here's the problem. When we fail below 4,200, it sets up a double fail. The first time we failed at 15, second time we failed through 30, and then we took out all the levels. Now it opens up a hard level to the upside at 42.40. But as we come through here now, it is moving so fast, it is moving aggressive, and it's expected. Anytime you get a move to the downside of a sharp move to the downside anyways, it gets very thin, very aggressive. So that's what you're seeing this market do at this point. So when it comes to trading today, just understand that levels aren't going to be what they were for the last, say, a month or so. They're going to be moving very quickly and they might not hold. So the way I would approach today is you get in, you make your move, you make your trade, and you get out. You be faster with the trades as there are no real levels. It's just points of interest. Maybe they might be there, they may not be there. So you kind of have to hesitate on whether it's actually going to hold for you. So you determine your entry. You might use a stop and then you let it go and you take your profit. I've got 60 as the potential location that I might be looking at. What that means, I might be taking a short there. I might be taking a long there. There's a whole lot you can do when it's a point of interest, at least the way I look at it anyways, point of interest kind of situation. So just understand, as the market is moving fast, and we're putting in new lows right now too, as we're moving fast and aggressive like this, at some point, this market's going to be moving too much, too fast, and there's going to be a hard snapback. It doesn't matter which direction. It could be to the upside because we're moving down, or it could be a move up and then we're moving up to the we're moving upside too fast and we come back down. Just understand that when the market moves too much too fast, there's an easy location for a snapback, and that could easily destroy any shorts or any longs very quickly. So just be aware of that. Just understand that this market is very thin, very aggressive, and just trade accordingly.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. We're under 30 minutes before the market opens. Guys, let's continue along with the watch list. 3D Systems Corporation. We got into some of these 3D printing companies going back to, I guess it was about fall, end of summer, fall of last year when they started popping up. 3D Systems, among the more established here as far as these are concerned. It was a decent report for them. They specifically pointed to healthcare sector and revenue coming from healthcare that was up 38.7%. So 3D Systems among the few, guys, in positive territory here.
Absolutely. And the 7% looks really, really impressive. Then you look at where this was in the pre-market. Like, it was up above this $20 mark. This was a much bigger move when you're sitting down in the morning off of like an 18 close. Like it had easily pushed in the 15% range, and then it started to come back here. And you know, it's one of those, like, normally if there was actual volume, I probably would have been sitting in something like this when it rolled over, but it's only done about 400,000 shares. And this is not necessarily the morning to dig into something that's illiquid. In the pre-market, you want to make sure there's volume in something if you're going to trade pre-market when there's this much volatility in a session. I wanted to come in here and be bullish on 3D here, and I think the only look I would have would be a potential like break, either back above that 1950. I just don't love the volume profile here with only 380,000 shares done. Well, sorry, less than 500,000 shares done here pre-market. It'd have to be a little closer to the open to maybe take a shot at it through that 1950. The problem is you're giving it at least $1, which is a lot for a $20 name here. So it's going to be a heavily volatile name. I'm going to stay away from shorting, and I feel like it'll be easier to focus on maybe shorting, companies that have a lot more weakness. And I say that with, you go to the daily chart here, and it's kind of a crazy thing to be saying, companies that have more weakness when this stock has come, off like a good 80% in the last few sessions, well, in the last few months here. But it's actually bouncing off what it looks like a bit of support down at that 18 even area. So I want to be on the bullish side of it. I'm really hoping that there's going to be like some influx of volume that gives me a chance at that 1950 break, but this is a no-fly zone pre-market. Not on a day like today. Too much volatility to trade something before the bell that has no volume.
Yeah, I mean, this was $55. This thing was huge in the pre-market. It got to $22.50 yesterday after market. Shout out to, I don't know if it was Marlon, someone mentioned that. Yeah, I don't have the pre-market high there. Here it is right here, the aftermarket 22. It actually ticked to 22.34 there. This stock came from 55, right? So this downward trajectory, like I said, this is a ski slope here. I wonder if this is like the weed space again as well, where 3D was basically dead forever, left just lying here, and then all of a sudden it gets going. The one thing in the report that I liked was the medical side of things, the healthcare side, starting to bump up. So there is some potential there. But in today's tape, man, like I'm just wondering if we should be selling this thing down. It's already up that 8%. So if you're going to look for anything from a sell side, let's just call that chart up again because it does include yesterday's. Like this 2050, if we can get to there, I think we can look at that. That's basically where it closed before we closed for the night there. And then you reopened a little bit lower. So we know that if they really wanted this to go, it probably should have opened up around the same level, but it didn't. Opened $1 worse. So let's wait for 2050 to start shorting 3D. Whether or not that's going to be a profitable trade today, not sure. It's 400,000 shares. You have a stock like Palantir done 12 million shares, and a lot of other companies that I'm going to be looking at, including what's coming up next, well, not next, but soon. We have PaySafe off their first report. That's been a stinker as well. Roblox, Space. There's so much today, but 3D, hey, nice to be positive on today.
Yeah, let's go to Roblox, guys. Wider loss than expected for Roblox, 134.2 million in the quarter compared with 74.6 year over year. So better part of doubling there, 46 cents versus 44 a year ago on the EPS. I mean, there was a few numbers that were decent. The revenue was okay, but what do we think here? Roblox was to be expected more, I guess.
The bookings numbers were okay as well. I mean, there was certainly some good things in the report. I think the bigger concern, you hear everyone sort of talk about this, and I wish I can't speak super intelligently on how well they're going to be able to pick up and maintain an older demographic. They're not. Yeah, older demographic or user base, which is like that's how you get that's how you hold up the valuation and maybe get that growth. Could they maybe be a takeout target? Yeah, okay, maybe that's certainly a possibility as well. Just strictly looking at the price action to get a relatively decent report, and look like you're going to be holding at least a little bit of that gap. And when it was above 65, I held out some hope that it was if it could have formed a cluster in this type of a market, maybe there would have been some buying that could have got you some kind of a breakout. But it doesn't necessarily have that same feel for me today. So, I was when I came in and I sat down, I was like, okay, let's see if it holds this 65. I'm gonna like it for a bit of a break to the top, try and get back to some of these levels, just for a quick momentum play off of the open. I'm not really seeing that anymore. I'm just seeing pure weakness here. I put it in the category of the look for, because it's not as beaten down as some of the other names here, it's probably a little bit higher on the list for a quick little flush. And if it does that, you look for the first obvious area of support. I mean, whether it's an even dollar, like I don't think it goes to 60, but like a 62.50, maybe even just fail breaking through this 63, which is right here at the bottom. Like that's the kind of setup which I think could really have some juice for you, as opposed to any kind of breakout to the upside style of trading. And I don't want to be short this name. I feel like this is flat on the day. The earnings report actually wasn't. I thought it was actually pretty decent. So I don't know if I want to beat up on this one shorting any kind of an increase. But I liked it a heck of a lot better when it was above that 65 range and holding that higher low.
Yeah, look, when Roblox came to market telling everybody that they're losing extraordinary amount of money. So they did expect that, and I'm very nervous about Roblox. Even my kids right now, they're still playing it, but it's just one of those cycle games, right? Where you get in there, you like it, and then I mean, my kids are, I think, the right age for Roblox, 9 and 6, and they're kind of losing a little bit of interest. I mean, my man has switched over to Minecraft, but that Minecraft actually, so first of all, on Palantir here, we're above VWAP, so my best out is 80, 79. We just took another 75 there, so we are slowly getting out, but now that we're above VWAP here, do I still expect it to crash? Probably, but we're getting out now. I've gotten out of a quarter of Palantir already with now. I want to hold for 16 now, so either this rips upside or it holds. So Roblox, I think, what time is it, 9:08? Okay, we still have lots of time. I think that Roblox eventually, and this is why I bring up Minecraft, we all know Minecraft was bought by Microsoft. I think it was in the $3 or $4 billion. Obviously, nowadays, the valuations of these companies are much, much higher. But I do wonder if eventually they come and get taken out somewhere similar to that. Now, I don't know about what valuation they're going to get taken out at, but the stock is losing a lot of money. they're going to need to do something there to spurn some more. I mean, their revenues were huge, but if they're losing money on a revenue beat of, now that I look at this, it's 387 million revenue rose. So that's huge from 161. So they more than doubled, and they still just flat on the day. So Roblox story's not done. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I think you could buy these dips because, again, in a negative tape like we have today, Roblox holding up. I think that says something.
All right, another one, yeah, Roblox popping above VWAP there. Another one trying to get back towards pre-market highs here. Virgin Galactic down 17%. It was 20 at the lows, but wider than expected loss for space. 130 million or 55 cents a share versus 377 in the first quarter of 2020. So the story continues here. This has kind of been snowballing, it feels like, into this earnings report for Virgin.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing I could come up with yesterday was to say I can't think of anything that they could possibly say that would make the stock go up, and that was the kindest thing I was going to say going into earnings. And to be honest with you, it was actually worse than that on the call because you're still having delays when it comes to their launches. They're still having some issues. The turnaround is going to be key. Dealing with wear and tear issues. That's another problem. And then really, Blue Origin's starting to kick their butts. Everyone's catching up. The first move, the chance was for these guys that they were going to be first. They were going to have that name brand that was going to get space tourism going. That's gone by the wayside at this point. I think you're really thinking about that long term. And I always say, like, I've been sitting here since like there was that nice scalp off 2750, which I admittedly hang on to some of that for like an idiot. So it's not like it turns into a losing trade, but it shouldn't matter, right? Like it shouldn't matter what your cost base is. It shouldn't matter what you made on it before. It's the shares you have on. It doesn't matter what the price is. What do you think of it? And if I thought that it wasn't worth a buy at 20 when I was saying to you guys, and I'm like, well, I think you should wait till the team's even before considering it post earnings. And then even down here, I'm questioning it today. It's like, why even hold on to it at that point? You're sort of rolling into that 5 year. Do you believe in 5 years that there could be something in this company? I'd lump it in the percentage of your portfolio where you're trying to hit an absolute home run and thinking that long term. So you're willing to lose on it, that kind of a thing there. Do I think there could be some support? I mean, it's weird that it's around the same 14. You mentioned 14 at Palantir, and I was looking at that 1380, 14. There was a previous support level at that 14. So the fact that we're actually bouncing off of it, that means it's worth it for me to just try it one time. If it's just so much potential to the upside. And this is the thing. There's so much potential in terms of just filling a small part of that gap that I look at any kind of failed break through that 14 or 1385, and I'll try a quick retracement long of 14. Ideally, it only goes down to like 1375 or so. So if you're retaking 14, you're risking 25 cents, and it doesn't have to break the pre-market high for you to make some money on that trade. So it's the reverse, like I've said, of some of those short ideas. 15 break, I don't know, you could put like a small amount into that. Like I said, I don't really love breakouts on a day like today. I'd much rather buy an initial failed dip. And it's, of course, goes without saying, almost everything we're talking about here is short sell restricted. So if you want to hit that bottom and then short the low, you have to wait for that uptick and be troublesome to get some of those fills.
Yeah, we just took out some nice, I just tweeted it out, we just took out a little bit of Palantir there. It actually ripped. We got out at 96 there, another piece. So we were holding a quarter, now we're holding a little bit less as this wants to go. Look, like, I don't know if, it's funny because they disclosed when they got out. Like, we know Chamath got out, around 30 or 25, 27. I think it was near that breaking point. And it's like, it's just, honestly, I've had enough of a lot of this, like, Silicon Valley, the rich just keep getting richer and stuff like that. Like, I'm not in space. It just makes me sick a little bit because there's no doubt these guys know what the report is and what's coming for this company. And it's a shame because, like, what was it? I think there was a whole bunch of them flew. I don't know, maybe we still have that report, but right around here, like this breaking point right here, it was like, see ya. I mean, that was double ago. Like, that was, like, we're not $14 on this name. Like, if you've held this for a very long time, and again, it looks like a lot of these names, not to beat up on Virgin, but it's just like, we're right back to these spots now. Is this where the money starts loading up? Like, this is the one thing about a market like this. When you're at all of these levels, for me anyways, it's scary to put on a short of any significant value because you're waiting for these pops. Like, if you like space, anywhere in the last 3 months, well, then today you must be loving this company, right? And if you're basing it just on the chart, right? If you're basing it on fundamentals and things like that, well, then obviously the earnings, we saw the negative earnings come through, 55 cents a share, blah, 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 net loss, 130 million. There's a lot here to not like. But if you're just trading off charts, there's a lot of levels here. And I like the 15 break just because, again, I think it's been beat down too much. But is that the smart play? I don't know. I think you got to do what I did on Palantir. And it's just working out on Palantir. But it's trying to find a bottom, picking it, and then basically hoping that you have some catalyst to the upside. The reason why we took this one now 40 cents in the money is, of course, because we did see that Bitcoin, and then we were playing it off of the 1640 bottom, right? And so I think if you get a retracement back down, that's now I don't have Virgin up, but if you do get a retracement back down in Virgin Galactic to some of those levels Neil was talking about, 14 flat, something like that, then you may be able to pick up some kind of a long. But for right now, it's kind of dead in the water. Let's have a quick look here at this as we haven't looked yet. Like Palantir, you know what? Oh, it just broke 17. Let's take out another piece. There it is. We just took out another piece there at 1701 right there on Palantir. But here it is. It's a sell. Neo's a sell. Everything right
Look
here.
Look at the only buy, AMC.
Yeah, and then there's SWN here as well, which of course is, I'm looking it up, Southwestern, an energy company. So yeah, I should have known that. Anyways, all buys there. Sorry, only 2 buys. All the rest sells. Even Brendan brought up today to us in the pre-market. Look at Carnival as well, down 4%. So hey, look, man, there's nowhere to hide unless you're in some of these companies that actually produce something. Steel, banks, look, wow, here goes Palantir, guys. Anyways, 1707 now, another out right there. So some things are starting to bounce a little bit here, Brendan.
Yeah, Virgin as well. We're seeing trying to push back towards the pre-market highs we mentioned. Let's go to PaySafe. Man, a few more to get through here. PaySafe, another report that there was some language towards the end of it that, you know, was kind of reassuring. At least there was some confidence. They reaffirmed their full year outlook for this year, even though it was a loss for PaySafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is your baby, but I mean, I look at this name here and it's like, in the pre-market, it's on a 1.3 million volume, which is actually pretty good for here. That's why you kind of put it on that little list. But I look at 1068. Well, I mean, 1069 is the actual low of the day. It just held it once, twice, and now it started really consolidating off the bottom. You pop over to, I mean, the daily charts, man. Let's go to the 15-minute just to see. And it just comes down to, you know, a $2 gap to the upside to be filled in. A triple bottom like this, yet to maybe break out. I look at, when I say I don't like breakouts to the top, I'd much prefer to be long at 11 on a rubber band type of play off of a tight stop at the low, you know, than sort of taking out the top. Like that, the problem with the 15 on space, it's like, okay, where am I getting out if I'm wrong? And I don't really have a fantastic idea of that given how big and volatile it is. I know where I'd be getting out of a PaySafe 11 break. Now, the volume hasn't really picked up. You know, I didn't see any significant imbalance or anything like that. I feel like this is one that could happen, like right off the open. If you get wig jiggled out, that's fine. I mean, even if it only comes back into like 11.60 to that $12 range, that would be a solid like 2-to-1 type of idea, maybe even a little bit better than that. So, you know, I would stick in and look at this and say this is worth the entry point. It's not horrible to get in pre-market, which it might do right here because it's actually 11 on the offer and a 6-cent spread. But either way, if it breaks that low of the day, you're out. You can round that down to like 65 if you like. But those are the types of plays that you have to put into the toolbox. As of course, I sit in like the one small cap that's gapping up. I'm short it and it's out of the money. That's a CERC. It would figure that like that game wouldn't work today. We'll see what happens at the open. I'm not averaging into it too close to 930.
Yeah, so look, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed, obviously, with PaySafe. I just checked where I'm long. I'm long at 13.56 average price, and I haven't bought any recently. So it just goes to show you that we were loving this stock back when, oh yeah, we don't have the BFT symbol turned over here. Palantir is still running, which is nice. But yeah, so I'm the same way. I like to buy these bottoms. I have to admit this, guys, like I'm very disappointed because revenue was only up 5% year over year. That's not gonna win any favors in Wall Street. So that's a horrible, horrible stat there for us. Anybody holding that PaySafe thought they would have got going a little bit more. I'm guessing, my guess is that I mean, it's UK based, right? And so my guess is that they're just going to need to get some US exposure here and get the name going in people's minds, right? I mean, it can't just be PayPal and Square. They're going to be fintech. Even their, where was it? I think it was their crypto was even bad there as well. Their total process payment volume, 27.7 billion. Like, billion? Like, it's monstrous, but it's only an increase of 8%, right? They're just getting into crypto. I think that will help. But we saw with Square, it helped temporarily, and then it crashed right back down. Square had like 1,000% increase in revenues due to crypto or something crazy like that. So, you know, I'm disappointed in PaySafe. That's for damn sure. But again, this is not a SPAC friendly environment. I don't know how else to say that other than what I just did. So, you know, I think you got to wait for a lot of these new names, man. I mean, find an EV name that you like, and you're going to be disappointed with the action in the last week. So I'm disappointed. I was expecting a big run for this. I completely admit that, you know, we thought that this was going to be higher, but, you know, looking at the tape of some of its peers, it definitely is not something that, you know, we were not sort of expecting into this. I'll be buying more today, and it's just a matter of at what prices. I'm layered into the 10s, even the 10 teens there. As Palantir right now, at least we can set the pins up, because for this name, you know, we got the news on Bitcoin, whether or not that's any good or not. We do know they're having their call right now. This seems to be way beat down here, Palantir. So let's see. I would hope it comes back down here. We can put a little bit into our account for a longer term spot. But right now, happy with having this 1660 long right here.
All right, let's, speaking of EV names, we'll talk about Tesla here real quick. Down significantly this morning, early on in the pre-market, after they said they're going to halt the process of expanding their Shanghai facility. They were talking about buying up more property around it to make it quite significantly larger. And this is all coming back to the current U.S.-China tensions, or political relationship, I guess is a better way to say it. They did also mention that they were discussing, or had looked into, the possibility of exporting those Model 3s, guys, from Shanghai to be sold in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we sort of didn't have a rosy outlook for Tesla in the day, and couldn't really find myself into any kind of a long. The question becomes, can you back to 600? It's sort of an obvious level that's going to stick out there psychologically for you as it's trying to bounce off the bottom. As it bounces off the bottom, it's funny. Brendan was saying the words, or maybe Sean saying the words, find an EV maker that you like. And the second he said that, I got short Workhorse at 723. That just bounced off the bottom. I wanted to pick on them because they were so weak yesterday, and then the same thing again today. You got to pick one to short on a pop if you did like it. It won't be Tesla that I do that to today. I'm kind of looking to see if that 600 gives you a bit of a fail. I'd love to, and it's going to be basically the same setup that I want today on just about everything, where you'd get some selling on that little weakness and that overall sentiment that we have overall in the market, and then you're able to hold one of these lows. Now, ideally, I would have loved it if we're talking about like 560 to 565, but the bottom here is going to be like a 575 to 580. It kind of means if I'm not getting like an 80, low 80s price, I really don't like that dip. I don't want to be like 10 bucks away from this on Tesla. In that case, I might just play a pullback off of 600, but I think finding a place to get into a comeback long makes a little bit of sense to me, because if the overall sentiment is panic sell, and Sean, you remember this from like back in like 2008, you could go into the day, and this is an extreme example, this is not the financial crisis, but you could go into a day thinking, okay, this stock bouncing here, this stock bouncing there, and then if you were wrong and it was going to be one of those watershed down days, there was always the ability to get back into that. Like, you could always join that trend if it was one of those types of sell-offs. So I think that's why I'm leaning towards, on some of the names that I would like a little bit better, for lack of a better word, is to only think about where I can get in the long on any kind of a dip. If there's some panic selling at 930, like people hit that some market sells in, or whatever does happen at 930, is there buying that comes into that stalls it? If that can happen in the low 80s on Tesla, that's where I'd like to be picking it up. It's definitely a Tesla trade day today because of the volatility. I just don't like a 600 break when we've already bounced like 20 bucks just to get there at 930.
Wow, I'm already up one time daily right here on Palantir, but it doesn't matter. We're going to try to make a lot more than that today. I just put up a poll. We already at what? I just put this up maybe 10 seconds ago. Already 26 votes. Wow, this Twitter is powerful stuff, guys. If you guys can go over here right now, let's see if we can get this. This is only going to be here till the end of the show. So was actually a little bit smart, and I feel like anyways, and we put up 2 hours left. So right now it must be 1 hour, 59 minutes. 2 hours left in this. We're going to see where we go. Will the NASDAQ close above or below minus 2%? So right now, I basically tweet that out as we're right at 2%. So you guys can take your 50-50 shot. Neil, what do you think? Above or below 2% by the time we close here of the day?
Oh, you give me a coin flip. The rhetoric I've had today, I'm going to go with my bias, and I don't want to say up, but I'm going to say we're going to be, probably somewhere in like the 1.2 range. I'll throw it in there. I think
so
we'll
below. Okay, so good. So wait a minute, above or below? Wait a minute. If I
no, I think we're going to be like
above.
down 1%, down 1.2%, like that.
So,
Like
so
we don't.
the market will
maybe,
rebound.
Yeah, maybe we don't get back to green, but something along those lines is my gut.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same way. My way would be above that, so that we're going to make a little bit of money back. Brendo, what do you think the day looks like?
Yeah, one of those days, I mean, you mentioned it, one of those days you could get just a rip your face off rally as soon as the market opens as well. So let's see what happens. I feel like, the selling we saw in the pre-market is definitely slowing. So it feels like you want to lean towards the higher side. Let's talk about this one. CERC up on some COVID-related treatment news this morning. 310 to 320 if you go to the daily chart. There's a really clear level here around this. It was over here. 310 to 320 on CERC. So consolidating very tightly here, heading into the open. 3 right above us. Big volume though on this one, guys. CERC.
Oh, I guess, yeah, I actually have it. I'm in that one at like 289 here, and not wanting that 3 even to break. I got that pay safe, so I mentioned to you that 11 break, and that it could happen by pre-market. It was essentially right there. So that's a little break. I'll take some out if it gets to like these quarters, and then probably at 1150, just because you want to make sure you're banking some profit. It is still consolidating off of the low. So pay safe we're in, Workhorse. I mentioned to you we're in that one as well. With about 4 minutes to go. Now, Workhorse, you're going to see it pop up. This was not a huge volume spike when it broke this 710, but right into this cluster here at like 740 or so. You just want to make sure this does not absolutely jailbreak on me on the open. I probably want to have tight stops on some of these short guys. You got to watch out, certainly. One that we didn't get to, I thought maybe we had, we had Coinbase on. Yeah, we did have it on here. Coinbase probably had one of the better rallies yesterday, and I know, yeah, I suck. You're talking about that 260 area and then getting stopped out by like 50 cents or so and then missing out on that run. But it's held that 250, which was that reference price, had that big ramp up. It's holding relatively nicely above that 275 for the time being. So between 75 80, I kind of still like this one to the long side. This has already been flushed out. Like a lot of these other stocks are being flushed out this morning. That kind of already happened to Coinbase, so I think it's a little bit more all systems go. First level of defense will be that 75. I liked an 80 break, but obviously that's sort of come and gone here, guys. You've seen 280 break right at like 9:15 or so, and it was a little bit early for me to be getting into Coinbase with the volume so low as it is. But if we can defend a 275, I like that area on Coinbase.
Yeah, no, I'm loving all of those areas. 240, 340 or so. Whoopsies. On Microsoft. So we just went long there on Softy. Again, the spread is too big, so I actually got triggered in. Shouldn't have been triggered in there, so damn it. Didn't mean to take that. We wanted to wait for 245, but we're in Microsoft already, which is good, but I'm not loving it. I would have rather taken the 245 break than be in right now, but it is crossing through this 1 minute VWAP, and I was just putting in the stop order to give it down to 243.50. I don't know. I probably should have, it was a mistake, so I have to get out of that one. But right now, Palantir, if you guys can see this one, we just took an out at 28, so I think that obviously a good out there, so happy with the way that one's pairing off right now for us. But again, into the imbalances, guys. Right now, NEO still a big sell, but look at the rally this stock has made back to 32. When we first started the show, guys, 30.50. So you've made $1.50 back here on NIO. So good name there looking. We just got out of half. Again, the Microsoft was a mistake, so we just got out of half there for a 20-cent loser. It's small shares. But there we go. NEO with a big one. Ford as well with a sell. We were trading that like crazy yesterday. We'll look to pick some of that up today as well. I do like Ford. Looking at Ford, I guess 11.25. If we can get down to there, we'll buy some up. And that's that name. And then the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ imbalances too. We can check out. They just came out as well. Nothing. I mean, we always have SNDL on here. I don't see anything else worthy. AMD there.
Small.
AMD's a buy. Wow, that's a surprise. Down to $73. I mean, some of these names just keep getting hit, guys. You know, stay with the best names, and I think you'll be fine. At this time, you want to buy blue chips. You don't want to buy some of these names that are, you know, continue to not catch bids. I think eventually the blue chip stocks will catch a bid, and one of those is AMD.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to ignore that NIO, and I, of course, have to be concerned with it a little bit. It's not that Workhorse is going to follow suit or anything, but it is sort of moving back to the upside. And there's so much, like I said, there's just so much room for a bit of a gap to get filled in here that you have to be careful, especially with related names in the sector. So I want to make sure I have maintained tight stop. If it breaks 750 on the Workhorse, I'll get out of it. Just throw that stop in there. If I get triggered at the open, that's fine. There'll be plenty of opportunities to trade today. But NIO in particular, I'm looking at this like 3150 area. Like this might be decent enough for like if there is a bit of a snap down, maybe not all the way to the low of the day. It just feels like the momentum is running out of the sell side. And if that's going to be the case, there could be a little bit of an idea to get into that long. Like I said, if it's going to be a rip your face off short day, there's going to be opportunities to get back into that trade. And I won't hesitate to jump into the south side of it. But we are looking like it's trying to make a push up. Remember, I don't love, like, I'm not sitting here saying I would take a 33 long break or take a breakout at these particular prices.
NIO
That could be a bit of a fake out.
Did you just see that? NIO just
it just spiked another.
32.50 right there on NIO. So, yeah, stock's getting mucho excited here into the open. There we go. We're open. What the hell? Who was ringing the bell there, guys? The market's open now. 9:30. Sorry, Randy, it's done. 9:30, 10 right now. Okay. That's enough. Okay, thank you, Randy. Now we go. Palantir, guys, 1743, ripping faces off right now. PLTR, probably worth getting some more out. I was not expecting this kind of a move. Bang, Palantir right to the upside. Big move there. We just took some out. Let's just keep on rolling. We're monstrous already, guys, today. Let's go.
Yeah, and immediately got some more shares into that Workhorse. Now I was going to look. We're mesmerized by NIO there a little bit as it continued to push to the upside. And then Workhorse gave me some more short at 22s and then slid back to the downside. Now I'm going to get hopefully some Coinbase. That just tested down to 77, or I was just sitting right in front of that 275. I want that Coinbase, but NIO is ripping your faces off. If it has any kind of a turn off at 33.
No, forget about NIO right now. Yeah, NIO's ripping. Look at Palantir. What the hell is going on with Palantir right now? We are just banging this one out. This is a monster trade for me, guys. This is $1.50 now in the money. Taking out 18 now on Palantir. One buy, no worries. We are huge today. Look at Softy as well, man. Softy ripping faces off as well. We talked about this was a possible bounce back kind of a day. Well, Softy just comes right back down, but we did pick up that nice little bottom there. Try to get some out in here on Microsoft, guys.
Yeah, and Coin, I mean, forget about that, like that 275. It bounces off of it. I try to get that long. Now we're doing the 280 break, which, I mean, I guess we're right back up here. So I got the long in Coinbase. That one small cap, it looks like it is dying. Yeah, so we'll be safe in this one. CERC, I'm going to hang on to this hopefully all day long. I think that reversal is going to be a good one. But PaySafe is the, I guess, not participating yet. We got the 11 break in PaySafe. It came right back into this low. It's held the low for now, so it bounces off the bottom. That's a good sign. I moved it down to 65s. I'm going to add this one. If it doesn't break the low of the day, remember that was part of the setup. If something flushes into the low, doesn't break it, I want to get into that long idea for that rubber band type action there. So I got the Coinbase 80 break. It's basically flat. PaySafe holding low of day for now. If that breaks low, I'll just get out of it. And Workhorse, I mean, it's not really moving. 22 to 32. I'd expect some volatility.
Guys, this is just hell yeah. As you know, we did pick up a nice Microsoft bottom, and we were able to get some out as it just comes right back there to VWAP. We missed that fill. Like I was sitting at 21s there, and we missed that. So I don't know how that happens. It must have been again a dark pool that just wicked right by us there. But Microsoft, a nice little long. We've cashing out. We're 23 cents in the money right now on PaySafe. Let's go PaySafe. Let's make this one happen for you today. Hopefully on that one. Palantir, man. I mean, I can't be more happy with this stock. Obviously, we're doing backflips, and that one is a hot dog trade for everybody. As the NASDAQ are trying to rebound, I'm getting out, man. I'm getting flat on a lot of these names right now. It's been big moves up. Like sometimes it's very, very silly. I don't think this is a gift horse because we planned it and this is good, but this kind of a move, man, an overextension, get out, I think, on this Palantir. I'm almost flat myself. I have less than 10% left. Actually, one more out and I'll have 10% left. So big time trading happening right now. PaySafe, just went up to 11.20 there, and we didn't get that out. That was probably a gift horse. Let's put another offer right there and get some out.
I took a little. It behooves you to look at that first level at 11.25. We mentioned this. That's a first target area.
Took
that quarter mark. And I'm going to rinse and repeat this. If it gets back down to that price, as long as it holds the low, I'm okay with that pay safe. I got out of workhorse because it's entirely too strong, and I can't believe Coinbase. It's starting to frustrate me. It's still in the money, but it should be, in my estimation, it should be better than the $1.50 that it is. Here we go. I mean, just complain about it. Apparently, I'll get some out in front of 285.
Yeah, we just got another Microsoft long there. We actually just took DraftKings long just in case, guys. Just in case there is some bottoms in this market today. We do take a name that we love long time here, DraftKings. So DraftKings breaking through. And there goes, our loser right here, Microsoft. We tried it. It does not hold this 243. Don't know why there, but, obviously some names going into other spots, not Microsoft right now. We will look to find another bottom. But there goes DKNG, guys. Yeah, let's power that up. DraftKings right now, 44.40, nice little high. Go DraftKings! What's up, Brendo?
Another one down off of earnings, guys. Jumia Technologies, JMIA, coming into significant levels as well, and also starting to bounce. $2 rip here for JMIA. Still down big time, though, guys.
So we powered up because, as I was saying, why isn't Coinbase going off of that little bounce long? And then we do get that $4 right into 285. It's reversing now. Look, I want to hold on to this just because, the market's basically flat here. We've given a little bit of that pop back, but I want to make sure we can hold this back into that 280. See if we can get to yesterday's close was 293. So I'm talking that 290 range. It already had a flush out in Coinbase. I'd love to see if we can't get a bigger move out of this, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't break even. You don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing one at this particular point. Workhorse sucked. I'll be honest about that, but that was the one. I was short, and so you have to have a tight stop. This Cirque, and I'm going to call it Cirque, is doing that typical, gives you that flush, tries to get back above 3 and couldn't do it. But this was not, let me zoom in a little bit. This is not off the open testing 3. This is the second time it's done this. I was able to get some out at 80s. I was able to get some out at 78, and now it's trying to roll over again. So everything for now looks like it's going to be okay. Pay safe is a bit of a disappointment, I have to admit. I kind of thought when it held the bottom, it would be screaming into the highs. But this Cirque, that's a strong move back up. Thankfully, I got some out. But if it does make a break of $3, I'm just going to get out of this one. We're now through 285 on Coinbase. So that continues its rally. I'm looking 290 to 293. Yesterday's close being 293.
Yeah, I cannot believe Microsoft. Look at that bottom that we had there. What a bad bottom that was, guys. But we'll look to see if we can't catch a little bit of a bid here. I want to start buying some Facebook here off of 300. It's above the VWAP. We do have a 300 break. We could go down to 299.50. So if the market does rip, at least we'll have some Facebook hopefully on board here as Microsoft does fail us a little bit. Well, let's buy some more Facebook here into 300. So there's a nice little long. I'm sick to my stomach right here off this softie because we got out at 242.80. The bottom was 242.60. So saved ourselves a little bit. But then look at this, man. We were loaded up. This should have been a monster win. This was a big position. My average price at this point was 243.60, something like that. So this would have been monster. But we have 4 winners on right now. DraftKings, bang. Nice little 25 cents there. We'll see if we can get it. Facebook, we just talked about that. Palantir, 1840, Brendo? I don't know if they said something in this call or what, but right now, Palantir is sure a hot dog cannon waiting to happen, man. Big time movement up. We only have that 10% left. I think we may just get it out. Palantir was down 10%, guys.
Virgin is halted. Virgin is halted limit
Upside,
up
yeah.
right now. Halted limit up.
We talked about that
935.55. So it broke the top. Now this happened basically instantly. So it's how many trades are you going to have at the open? I probably should have looked at that one. But here we go. 1588. You're probably right. It's probably all the ARC names that are halted, moving to the upside like this. But a halt here on Virgin.
I said
Brendan?
that 15 level.
I was reading yesterday, guys. She actually sold some more Tesla to buy her own ETFs, if that's even possible. But Simon Property Group, another one just popping up here on volume. Tried to test pre-market highs here, got absolutely slammed right back down. They also reported to the downside for SPG, guys.
Oh, man, that Microsoft is really making me sick right now, but that's okay. We'll move on. AMD to the downside. Q's looking to get faded now. That's a big move back up. So I think we got to get out of most of our shares now. Just watch them. So DraftKings, we took that profit. We have downside look here of 43.50. Look, we're trying it. I wonder if that was the move. Everything can fall back down and we would still be fine, but we have to have some outs. So 43.50 on DraftKings is going to be our out. Facebook right now, 50 cents now in the money on FB, guys. Let's see if we can take a little piece off on that one. We're long at $300.94. There it is again, another 80-cent win, guys. We are cleaning up today. What a big day this has been. There's another trade there. I mean, Palantir again. Like 1870, Valeria? Unbelievable, eh, Valeria? What a move to the upside here. We are in the money $2 on a $16 stock. And the funny thing too is, guys, we talked about this break. I said I liked the 15 break on SPCE, but instead we take Donkey Kong and we take Palantir and we take PaySafe and we take Facebook. So we're gonna go 5 for 5, but we did, 4 for 5 because of this trade. But hell, Microsoft's still higher than where we had it. Just too bad we dumped it a little early. Facebook, I mean, Tesla on the way back, Neil, above 6.
So speaking of PaySafe there, it did just bounce back above 11. So once again, it's held that low. I'm looking to pick up even more shares here. As long as it holds the bottom, I'm going to like that one. But I got to get to a 3D because, look, there's going to be a few of these names that made some runs here that I'll be disappointed not to have. I like the long in 3D. Of course, we're going to end up missing it because of Coinbase. And then now a second time I'm in this cert. The first short good. Now this 3 break, I got 95s in here and it's trying to hold up above that 3. But if we can get any kind of a dip, maybe back into 20 even on 3D, it'll be something we can actually pick up here. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity. I definitely liked it. So that long side, one of the few earnings names that it actually ramped up there was 3D. And PaySafe, just because I had mentioned it without showing you guys, this is what I mean. Like, it holds that bottom. We're able to get some long, quick little scalp out. Same thing again. Now it's holding 11. So it's coiling up, looking like it wants to make a move. There's just so much room. That's the key thing here. There's so much room on that gap trade. If it breaks the quarters, I'll take a little bit out, take some out in front of 50, and then see if you can't hold to a $12 range. And Coinbase, I'm giving this all the way back to break even, which may seem, maybe that seems a little greedy or so, but I like the way that it's holding up here in that 85 range. I think decent shot. We can get around to yesterday's close there. It was such a good flush out bottom for Coinbase that I like holding on to that long a bit.
Yeah, guys, we are $2.40 now. $2.40 in the money now. Unfortunately, we don't have too much left, but what a great trade this has turned out to be on Palantir as we are just rocking this market right now, guys. Look at DraftKings. You want to talk about a stock that's ripping right now? Let's get out. Oh God, my enter key's not working again. There it is, 75 cents there on DraftKings. Straight to the upside, bang, bang. First part out 25, next part out 75. That's how we trade off this 44 break. So breaker 1-9, we in the building right now. Alibaba, we take out the top right now. This may not work. It may, who knows, but we're gonna see if 217 coming on Alibaba, my first spot to get out of this one. As the NASDAQ Rip City right now. PaySafe also, guys. Bang, 50 cents in the money now on PaySafe. So let's see if this one can get back to 11.50. Brendo.
Another one looking very similar here. Vuzix, recent high flyer. This thing went from 4 to 32 at the end of last year, if you remember. Just went from 14 to 16, guys, after another one that reported to the downside. But look at that, straight to the upside.
Just going to give you one that's coming up here at a big level, 211.50 approaching on Square. I just took some PaySafe in front of it in that quarter mark. 11 quarters. We talked about that. I still like the idea that we have a chance on PaySafe to get to that 40s, where I think there's another target to get in. Virgin opened back up and continues to ride to the upside, so I guess that story has continued. I like this break on Square to like the 210. You're late to the party. You can still be a little bit well dressed, but you're chasing it, so tighter stop on that chase, because I'd always want to be defending like a 207.50 area, but you're screaming to the upside. That short, I'm out of that circ short. Of course, the small cap short is going to be the thing that does not work in this morning. Go figure. This, I think, maybe to like a 213, 214 when it comes to that Square position. I do see PaySafe consolidating a little bit. If it comes down again, if PaySafe cannot actually continue this move at this point, I'm not averaging it. I'm not adding again. If it tests the low, it has to hold it, but I won't be adding to this position. It looks like this is not exactly the bigger screamer in terms of these rebound trades. You're seeing what's happening in something like a Virgin Galactic or in Palantir, like Sean's saying, or Neo. Pick any one of these names. If it's not making that kind of a move, I kind of feel like you should temper your expectations a little bit. So just got Square. It's about $1 in the money here, but I want to take at least a couple.
Holy shnikes, guys. Look at Facebook, $1.80 in the money. Like, let's go. This has just been a monster open for me today, guys. I just wish we still had Microsoft. Only loser on board is a fucking monster right here. Alibaba, bang, right here. PaySafe, bang. Palantir now, $3. Adios, amigos. Thank you, Kathy. Glad we had that call. Ripping up to the upside. DraftKings just takes out $1. This is, guys, what's up? Randy, your good luck today. What's up, Brandon? Let's go.
You just mentioned it. Here it is, guys, just popping up on volume. ARK K. Just absolutely ripping along with all of these back to the upside, guys.
Let's go. Look
Absolutely.
at Alibaba.
There goes Square right through that 213. So, I mean, like, you talk about being late to it. I didn't think this level was going to come into play, that 211.50. It does. We're heading towards yesterday's close. Look, if it gets to 216 yesterday's close, I will take this one out. Coinbase is now 9 in the money. So it looks like we're going to get that 10 or 11 once 290 breaks. You can't have I shouldn't say this. I don't think you can have a long that is wrong at this point, because even PaySafe is continuing to go here. If there is one, let me know, because I can't really find anything that's not working to the upside.
I'm getting out of Palantir, guys. If we could take this bid, this offer, we're going to get out here. In the 1960s, man, what a huge run this was for Palantir. It's absolutely going off. We may just, I only have a little piece left, but hey, it doesn't matter the size. Wait a second. What am I talking about? It doesn't matter how many shares you have there. You need to get out, on these kind of moves. And I actually missed that 60 level. So let's see. I just put an offer in the 40s here. I don't even know if we're going to get that as it's coming back in. There it is. Bang! Out 43. Yes, sir. The hot dog's flying everywhere today as we are getting quite excited here on a big market moving day, guys. Really happy. $2 in the money on FB right now. Let's just keep on riding this. $2. We had $1.50 in the money and taken out on Alibaba, 216.50, out 217.70. I'm 3 times daily goal. 3 times daily goal. I hope you guys are doing well, man. Let's just enjoy the ride. Money.
Hit that coin one that comes out there, because like Coinbase, we talked about that target. You're going to get a clean $11 move. Now, we talked about that 290 to 293 range. It slowed down a little bit at 291, so that was the target area. It's a $3 range. The second it slowed down or pulled off of that price, that's where I wanted to be able to get out inside of it. So sometimes things work out to plan, and it's not that difficult. That feels like what this morning is, as long as they're, look, we had 2 shorts, and those are going to, of course, both lost. That's Cirque and Workhorse. Everything to the long side has been fantastic. Square, first target, remember we showed you that 213? Yeah, right back in here, guys. So right back into that 211. I'm not going to double down on this trade because I wanted to look back at a defense of like an 07 to 08 range if it did come back in. If you take one of the, like Coinbase, we got at the bottom. But if you're looking at something like a Square where you're a little bit later to the move and you like that 211.15, you take some more shallow profits. You want to make sure you're not digging in too high to rebuy in this one. I think I'd wait for like a 209, 210, something closer to that 207 support. Brendan?
A little bit of news on Blink, guys. There was an acquisition, just double checking if this was halted. I don't think it was. It was just our chart. Needs to repopulate, but a small acquisition announced for Blink Charging, ripping back to the upside as well.
Oh man, I don't even at this point. We're getting out of everything there. DraftKings were out, man. Smooth dollar win on that one. Facebook, I'm just watching this, and then look at PaySafe right now, man. Slaying dragons. It's just too bad because I said after the show I was going to go in and start buying hand over fist, but unfortunately that move already happened. But we have a 1080 long, so yeah, we took some out there at 10s ahead of that. So that was 40 cents right there. Sorry, 30 cents right there, and now we have a 65-cent win on this name, $1.20 on Facebook, and Neil has that monster on coin. So
it's out.
I'm saying
to be honest with you, Sean, it's hard. It's hard not to take profit on it.
Very
to be
hard.
honest, like this morning, and maybe it's wrong because if this was like a watershed bottom, certainly. I found myself long the top at Square and still holding on to PaySafe when, oddly enough, and Square is coming back in here. I wanted to see if I can find a place to get back into some more shares, but it feels like PaySafe was the one that just didn't want to go. And even that's changed now, right? So you get in a few times. They said, look for that one setup where you get a failed break through the bottom. This is the only one that actually set up that way. Everything else you had to take jailbreaks for. And now we're trying to get through that 1150. It's a hold through 1150. I think I'll take some out in front of 1175 and someone in front of $12 because no one ever went broke taking profit. Let's remember that sort of mantra we have around here. But from there, I want to hang on to something. I don't know why it's Square and not Coinbase. It just kind of that's just where I find myself, oddly enough.
Yeah, I'm just going to get out here. I just got out of BOBA there for flat. I don't want to hold this anymore. As the NASDAQ's coming back down, we put everything in our pocket already. Like, you know, it was a great out. Some of those outs at the high side. The only thing was, of course, today we did slip up on Softy. We got taken out there real early on that one. It's too bad because we just missed the move. Look at this DraftKings retracement. Those of you that watch the show know my hatred for DraftKings as far as trading is concerned. So the minute that we had this move and I started to believe in it, I went right over to DraftKings because I know I play it well off breaks. So there it was, 44 out there for a quarter, not being too silly. Out there 75s and then out there even. So bang, bang, bang. We follow it basically to a T. If I could write a book or something like that, or a course, then I would, you know, teach some of that, like getting out on those.
Hey man, we're already doing it here. And that's why we don't sell a course.
Hell yeah.
Because you guys get it live. Like
look at Palantir, guys.
I mean, this is like actually. It's an interesting thing is just to show you guys. I wish I could change my prediction. But I'm not going to because we're on the NASDAQ at that 1.1 to 1.2. I'm like, yeah, you know, if we close here, I'd actually be pretty okay with it. I think that would be a good little target. That was that little cluster here and maybe not breaking through the top end. I feel like after the selling, that would be good. That's not a huge move, but you look at some of these retracements in as I go back to PaySafe here because it just hit that 3/4 mark. So. I'll take some more out in front of 12. It's been a great run off of 11 even. If it gives you like a 10% move, I'll definitely take the majority of the profit off on any 12 break. Look, I'd like to be able to hold this. You sort of dream of that entirety of a gap fill, and that would be up and around that $13 range. It feels like it's pie in the sky, but on days like today, it's not crazy. You're getting outsized moves in the names that were beaten up the most. I just wish I had some Virgin Galactic Wilders. I got to check what that's in a couple of minutes here, but that one halting very, very quickly to the upside. And then the Square leveling off, guys. I'm going to go with a break-even stop just to throw it in here. If it breaks back below 211, about 50 cents, I'll take this one out. It looks like it's top-end ranging. And if I can get a pullback, $3 or $4, maybe a better place to re-enter instead of throwing away any profit.
Yeah, and we're not throwing away profits. We're actually doing the complete opposite right now with Palantir because, you know, we did get out of this too early. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind based on this move. Like, I was so happy. I was hitting cannons and everything at 18 bucks, guys, let alone 20. But enough is enough. I would love for this thing to keep on going, that's for sure. So I'm scalping out, guys. We're scalping out. We went short, double the fund on this one. We went short 2 times, 89s and 96s, 92s, I guess. We have 92s right now. So we're short there, and we just got some out. Like, we're getting them out mid-80s to low 80s, and now I have half left on that short. So we just scalped out a little bit more there on Palantir, and now we'll hold the rest. I've asked Brendan if there's anything, just really the crypto mention there. So thanks, Brendan, for that one. I have no idea, but right now, the pins lined up again. We talked about that. I talked about hitting stock when we are at even levels. So there it is at 20. Now we can't lose, man. My short is 92. This is in the money, 25 cents, 30 cents right now, right? My out is 20. I just wish I would have held more. Palantir now, adios. So we go up and down right now. I wish I had something like playing this like a fiddle, but we'll just go Superman right now as we take it all the way up. I don't know if anybody's gonna have a better price and if you do in the chat, congratulations. And on you there, 1660 long, and then a short right now at 1992. Hey man, we're playing this game and we're playing it quite well today, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to lose on this one. Now, I want to quickly go to Neo. Neo tried to get positive, and it was positive for maybe like 2 minutes here at 34.50. Now it's retaking this, or attempting to retake this level. If it turns around off this 50 again, so double taps the top here from negative to positive, that's going to be a bit of a retracement setup for me. You've seen this one before, guys, but it's going to have that tight stop. If it breaks that 34.50, you're out of it. I've got to see it, you know, like touch and turn. For now, it's sort of leveling off here. I just want to see that first little turn on Neo. Here we go. And that's it right there. So I just grabbed some at like 28s. If it comes and gives me some more shares at like the 30 range, that would be fair enough. But this is one of those, it's a setup I'd use on a small cap. When you get an when you get a $4 move on an NIO, you know, at some point I'm willing to take that trade even into the face of a screaming market. I've got longs to offset this. If a market keeps screaming to the upside, we got that square like a couple of bucks in the money looking for about 4. And of course, PaySafe, retracing that, but still 50 pennies in the money, even after retracing. So I want to have something to the short side here. And Neo gives me that sort of tight stop and then potential upside because VWAP's $1 away. Brendan?
I was a little bit late to the party. My daily chart is not low. There we go. I was a little late to the party, as I was saying, but Airbnb just popping up here as well. They're all participating now, guys. Just breaking through 142 there on volume for Airbnb.
This is an absolutely, Airbnb crazy. I mean, we're $3 in the money right now on Facebook, guys, and like I mean, maybe a 302 could be an out here. Let's see if we can't find anything. What does a 3-minute chart look like on Facebook here? Still rip. I just can't believe. Man, this day would be monstrous about that softy. You do have the moving average right here coming up to the upside. This is, of course, the 3-minute moving average. We do have a VWAP there as well. So back to 301.92 maybe. So a 302 break here, probably worth getting some out. But look at the NASDAQ, man. Now only down that 1%. So Crimea River, no more. 304 was the high there on Facebook. Holy crap. That was a $3 winner right there. Probably should have taken that off. We didn't. But look at PaySafe, guys, as well. Like, you want to talk about barbecuing up some profits right now. PSFE right now $1 in the money off this 1080 bottom. So looking to get some of that out maybe at the high of the day as well. 1190 coming through. Here comes Facebook.
The best part about this day, I'm a little surprised by this. Even look at U.S. Steel is up on 4%. It's retesting like 28.50, so you're getting a rebound in some of the names that I would have expected some cash to maybe come out of for some profit taking. Very, very impressive. I didn't see this one. For anyone that popped that in the radar, that's a good little one here. Off the same type of bottom and then holding the lows. I just didn't expect it at U.S. Steel. We're so focused on tech, even missing some other plays there. Miss V's got something at the big screen.
Hey Neil, AMC is the name from the chat for you. Stock is trading on a high volume and up around 5% right now. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in this name?
Oh goodness, is that real? Guys, let me know. AMC traded down to 960 only to come back in here now. This is already giving you a bit of a rollover. Now, this is one of the only buy imbalances that we saw when we came in today. I think it was only two. AMC was one of them, and an energy name you had mentioned, Sean, was the other. But this failed hard at that 1050, flushed all the way through this low, and then now making a lower high. Now, if I wasn't in NEO, I'd probably be thinking about at least testing out a 1025. And the good news for anyone that's bullish, the good news about the fact that I'd be thinking about testing a short there is at least it gives you some people that are probably going to be in a short if it retakes that high and they'd have to cover. But that's a heck of a sell-off on volume after trying to break out. I'd be inclined to at least try to fade that one. I'm in NIO essentially flat off the high of the day, which is even stronger. So I wouldn't personally double down. I don't want to have too much short exposure on a day like this in the markets, but I'd be a little bit concerned about how heavily that sold off after that failed attempt at breaking pre-market highs. Brennan?
Yeah, it's all the tech stocks participating here. Look at Netflix, a name we haven't mentioned in quite a few days here. Back above yesterday's close easily, and then some, through 490 now on volume, guys, for Netflix.
And even the look, I mean, we're going to fist bump this one because, look, you got to be able to go both directions. I just picked NEO because of how far it went. And it was also that negative to positive story. It was failing at that psychological barrier of yesterday's close and then trying to get to that next even dollar range. I'm going to scalp some out here in front of 34, and I'll take some more in this little cluster. This is the top end of the range. If it holds this, you're still looking at about 50 to 60 pennies worth of profit when only risking to the high of the day. Now, do I want some down into VWAP if we can get there? Sure, but only like 10, 15, 20% tops on a move like that because you're counter trend. You want to make sure that you're not throwing away your day when you had a positive trade in this range. If it was a good level, you want to make money off of that level. You don't want to just throw it away when it hangs out. That's a good 70-cent range in NEO. I know it went $4, but you take what you can get when you're counter trend. Just to come back over to PaySafe because it is slowing down a little bit. I said I would take some out in front of 12. Now I'm sitting in the 90s. It hasn't quite gotten there yet. As it's holding this consolidation, I might just pop something here to try and get like 88s or 89s there. Yeah, there we go. We just actually got 89s. Why split hairs over like 3 or 4 pennies? You'll get that extra out. Now I'm just going to see, look, can PaySafe actually break that 12? Maybe it can. And I can get back in on a breakout. I can get back in on like a dip buy, anything along those lines. NEO, good thing we scalped some of it out. It just broke 34.50. So now long through the top on NIO. Still have that square about 30 or 40 cents away from that $4 winner. I'll be out of that one as well in front of 215.
Yeah, Square, great. I mean, so many great trades if you're able to pick up the bottoms there. But you want to talk about something else. Neil talked about going both ways. Check out this going both ways. Palantir, the baby gets rocked and robbed down here at 1660, right? And now look, we shorted it. Look what my price on the board there. Short Palantir, 19.92. So 66 cents now the other way with Palantir right here. So yeah, we're pretty happy right now with the way this market's panning out for us as we rip that short right there. And yeah, great trade on that. It was overdone. We had no idea. The minute Brendan came in and said to me that there was really nothing happening there on Palantir, that was like about as easy as it gets there to go short. So we'll wait. I think maybe we'll take out another piece right now. Was getting too greedy. Was actually waiting for the teens right there, and then we take another piece out. So great trading happening right now on PLTR, guys. Super happy. 4 times daily, and we're not even done yet. Let's go.
Yeah, and apparently not. Well, that's a spy. I actually wanted to show you guys Virgin Galactic. Apparently, it's not done yet. After the halt, it tried to come downside, fail, and then broke back out. Now we're getting towards. Look, if you're actually going to get back to this $18 range, now this flushed off earnings. The close was essentially exactly at 18. If it's going to get to that price, it almost has to be a fade for me. I mean, that's absolutely crazy in my opinion. And I just got out of that square. You talk about taking the profit. It's fine. I actually don't have any of these momentum names left on my board. Square, I was late to the move, so you're only going to get that $4 and last a little bit. As you approach previous highs, not holding anything through those. And that's going to be looking for some short opportunities. Neil was halfway towards a win, and then I reversed into the long, and I should have actually held on to that because it just broke to like 79. I only took 10 cents on the reverse into the long trade. Neil is now jailbroken. I will take a shot at Virgin Galactic, though. If it is going to get to that 18, I think that's a little bit too far for me. That's a little bit too expensive. There is also this level in the aftermarket. We always talk about this. When you have post-market earnings, look for some of these support and resistance levels. To try to get to 1740, 1750. I think this gives you 2 cracks. The first one, you give it to that 50 mark. The second time, if it gets to 18, look, don't get me wrong, I can still actually have some long in my account, but I still believe that would be too far, too fast on space to get to turn green on the session. That would almost be crazy.
No. I think it's going to get turned green, man. I mean, I never thought Palantir would do the same thing, and Palantir goes up almost 9%, and then we shorted it. But yeah, I mean, the market has to have that momentum. I mean, look, we're at 0.68. Let's check back in right now on that poll, actually, right now. Let's see here. Ooh, 18.6 now. Thank you so much, guys. And here it is. So already 500 votes. Thank you so much. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. Below. So right now, there's a little work to be done, but obviously a lot of you, like me and like all of us, I think we all thought that we'd be around that 2%, and we're nowhere near there. So, you know, this may be just, if you're just going based on what you guys, I mean, it's 50-50. It was 45-54, so who knows? But if you're just going off something like that, then yeah, you may want to get short now because half of us think that this may be coming back to the downside right now. Look at Palantir. We just got those 14s, man. This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for everybody on the chat there, thanking us for the pay safe, thanking us for the Palantir trades as well. And like Neil mentioned already, man, this is absolutely free 99. Brendo.
Only without the 99.
Screen.
Hey guys, yeah, just seeing a little bit of jobs data coming out there at 10 o'clock. We mentioned at the beginning of the show. It's actually better than expected. 8.1 versus 7.5 on the March job postings. So 8.1 million versus 7.5, so a little bit better. More positive catalysts. Let's have a look at how things are doing. Still in negative territory, but we're well off the lows. We were talking 1% and 2% for the most part. There's the S&P now just 0.75%. The Dow exactly the same, 0.76. The NASDAQ, both the composite and the 100 here, right in that same area. So 2% long gone for the NASDAQ that we saw when we first sat down this morning. The Russell still struggling a little for small caps, 1.4%. Couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market. Yeah, Tesla trying to go positive here. It has a little ways to go yet. I guess back around this 640 area, but still down a full percent. But big time volume. Kathy buying with both hands today, guys, on some of these, including Coinbase did tag 292 coming back into the downside. But what an open, the moves to the upside. Pretty impressive, guys.
They were, and we'll go. I mean, we'll sort of keep it going. We'll pound off it. Like, there's been a lot of opportunities here. I want to slow things down just a quick little second. There was an attempted, so far an attempted rollover at that 17 area on Virgin Galactic. I find if you're going counter trend, sometimes it's better to wait for the selling to come in. Had it popped into that 740, 750 I talked about, I probably would have stepped in front of it, but it turned. I waited for the turn. It tried to quickly slow down in the mid 70s. I was able to get some shares at 78. Didn't want to chase it too far, but immediately stalling at 50. So I take some out for that quick little scalp trade in front of 50s. If it can get down to like 16, maybe 16.25, that'll be it for me. I mean, I'm not holding this to the Dickens. I think that was probably one of the things with NIO is you didn't want to do that. But Virgin Galactic, I am to the short side. If it breaks high of the day, I want to be out of it. As far as Coinbase goes, it's now come back. So you're right back into like that. Remember that first exit point we had off that 285? We're right back into that price area. It dipped once into 83.5. Now it's trying to hold a higher low. If it retakes 285, I want to get back into this one. I had that 90, and it just does right there. It didn't have a stop order. What am I even doing? See if I can park something maybe just in front of 85 and grab the long there without having to chase it too far. But we like that 90 to 93 area. The second time through VWAP, I'd probably lean into more taking like a $4 winner in front of 290. So this is the second time we're long in this Coinbase. In this little trap here, potentially, you want to make sure you take some profit out. The real test would be if we ever got back down to like 75 to 78, and that's where you'd want to put on your bigger risk position, or that's your real line in the sand on a Coinbase. The market is trying to come back in here. I want to try and stay a little bit balanced. It's just Virgin Galactic to the short side and Coinbase on that long. I do want to check back in on Tesla. Look, I guess you could have just bought anything, so you can't even get mad at it here, guys. But the 600 break does give you a little bit of a move. I'm just more upset with the fact that it pulled back into 95s here and gave you a second break of 6. Look back into yesterday's close at 629. It's a bit of a psychological level to turn green on the session, and Tesla isn't quite there yet. So as it grinds toward that price, I'd be inclined to look for a VWAP retracement there. Coinbase just popped, but $1 in the money. Remember, I'm only targeting on this one anywhere from that $2.50 to $4 range, not the $10 we had before.
Yeah, no. Don't expect any crazy. I mean, we could still expect crazy moves. They may come. But right now, we've already just experienced some insanity there off the open. So again, guys, like congratulations to anybody that's been hitting some of these trades with us. PaySafe, I should have took it out there at 12.30. I'm just trying to let this one ride. I have half this position left. This is $1.50 in the money. So happy with it. But again, could be better. Always could be better on PaySafe. But still, up to 12.30. Well, let's put an offer there right now. I don't know if we even get 12 anymore. Probably should have took that $1.50, $2 there almost in the money. So we'll wait to see on that one. Palantir, great outs down here. We got most of them out right at 50 as we normally do, but some outs there at 25s and then another one at 14 there for Palantir. So we'll look to see if we can't make some money back on that one, even if we have to short it again. Look at RBLX. I told you guys about Roblox as well. We didn't do anything about it, but we did give you some levels there. That 65 in the pre-market was great. It does break through there right off the open. Now you're ripping up to 71% up in the money, 11% now. My kid must be pretty happy, although he has no idea about this. But our average price on Roblox, I think 67. Just a fun account right there. But that's a big move up. Roblox right now. The daily looks kind of messed up because it's pretty new and it's just been back and forth trying to find out what it wants to do. So I can now put a stamp on Roblox off their very first earnings call. This is kind of what we were waiting with was PaySafe as well. Where are they going to be after that first call, right? So now Roblox upside 11%. Very, very nice. Very, very successful for Roblox. Palantir still dancing around. We're looking to get into some more names, man. I still want to have words with Microsoft after the show. And then Facebook, we did get out at that 302.50 break. So again, that's another $2 win right there on Facebook. Just the NASDAQ really got lit up here early to the upside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of missing opportunities all over the place, but I just noticed NVIDIA looking like it wants to test to the high as well. That Coinbase, I think I got a little greedy with it, and maybe I should have taken some out on the way back down from this consolidation. Could have given you like that $1.50. I was targeting 2 on the first exit point. When this happens to me, I'm not even gonna let it break this 284. If it gets in and it's just too tight of a stop, that's fine. I almost don't care. At this particular juncture, I'd rather take like that small hit, wait for the better price, something I can dig into, and then throw away the profits that you have from the morning there, guys. A little bit too hard. I should have taken something out. I kind of realized that here when it rolled over, just shy of my initial target. I didn't do so. Not gonna preclude preclude that from me getting out and then saving or preserving some of our morning's profits. Brendo?
All right, real quick, Andrew B. I do not see anything on MindMed. I will check, but it doesn't appear to be anything on MindMed at the moment, but I'll double check. This one as well. NTech, I just noticed kind of falling on its face here, could not get above some of these pre-market highs in aftermarket as well. Another one that Little Pharma Company reported aftermarket yesterday. Back to the downside for this one, guys.
NTEC.
Yeah, you are welcome. And I just want to say, I'm just responding to some of these tweets here because you're welcome, Jillian. 5 times daily goal. So you are welcome. We'll put a couple smiley faces there, some rockets, some smiley faces as well. Thank you so much for that, love, Jillian, as well. And I mean, this is what we're trying to do. Like, I'm taking 1 or 2 ins and just watching them fly, right? And unfortunately, I think, Neil, obviously you had a much better out. Did you get out of PaySafe above 12? Like,
no, I took it all out in front of that. It stalled out at 12. I took it all out in front of 12, actually.
Yeah, okay, so I'm debating doing that move right now just to get some out before we do collapse to the downside. I think we could get out now and then we'll take a break of 12 if it does want to continue to go. So let's put some money in our pocket there with PaySafe. So we'll take this 84, something like that. Maybe I'll cross this market and put something in the middle there. Take an even out and then we'll deal with PaySafe if it breaks above 12. I think that's a good plan. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, you're trying to lay down that plan of action here. Things kind of calming down a little bit. Now, obviously, I talked about getting out of that PaySafe, because you just said PaySafe, now I'm thinking about it, that Coinbase for the tighter stop. Like, you miss that move. You don't get stubborn about it, like, oh, crap, I should have taken some out for some profit. Nah, you just get out and then look for a better price. I'm not even talking about this 282. I'm probably looking to see if it can't get back into that 280 range. Maybe even below that 280 could be a good point there for this name. Virgin Galactic, still stronger than I anticipated, I think, on this move. I really did think in this consolidation, like, you get that first out, it looks like it was a good one in front of 50, but it's holding this range. It has to break down at this point. The longer it holds in this range, the less I'm inclined to say, well, you just give the short back up to the high. Nah, no way, man. I'm starting to think about giving it back to that 80 range where I'm only losing a couple of pennies. So very, very similar to in Coinbase, maybe just the other direction, obviously, where you start thinking about having a bit of a tighter stop because, A, you know that there's some bigger, like the market is sort of coiling in this range after making that big pullback. You know there's some bigger moves potentially coming, and you don't want to have too big losses. So I'm not giving it that extra 40 cents. If it's going to come and break that 50, I think it does give me that out to the quarters. I might as well tighten the stop here and then hunt for maybe a better trade as if we're sitting sideways action in Virgin Galactic. I don't think that'll last very long, but I don't want to be on the wrong side of it if it breaks to the upside. And I probably will not retest shorting in front of 1720. No way, no how on that one. I want to come back over to Neil if I can very, very briefly. Tried reversing into the long side, probably should have hung on to it. Now the short obviously is going to end up working. I wish I could tell you that this purple was a short. No, I used a different kind of stop. This got coded as a short stop, but this is a long exit point. I wish I could tell you I had short at 34.60, but that wouldn't be true. That was me getting out of a long. Brendo?
Just saw DoorDash pop up there on volume. It's still not doing anywhere near as much volume as the rest, but it's a little headline here to be aware of. DoorDash teaming up with Rite Aid on same-day delivery for essential items through DoorDash. So heads up on DoorDash, guys.
Yeah, DoorDash has decent moves happening right now. I'm going to tweet this out soon, the day that we had on Palantir in, out, all the way up, short. We're going to put a bid right here, see if we can't get one more piece out and then hold a small, our last 10% for, I don't know, bottoms again? We'll see. One name that's not participating, and I don't know why. So that's why we're going to try to look at it right now. That is Apple right here, guys. So Apple down 2.3%, not having a great day here. So no idea why that's happening, but we want to make sure that we watch it. So we're long right here, 93s. You can go long with me if you like it. I'm going to be averaged into this one until 123.50. It's broken. I see that Apple's broken right now. I don't really know why we're still down, considering a stock like a Facebook was just, yeah, see, only down 1%. So Apple double the trouble as Facebook. So that to me, although makes sense, because again, Apple, a beloved name, and I just think it's trying to find a bottom. It hasn't really done that yet. But I'm going to go long right now. We're going to average. I do have some more bids, guys. So I have a 76 bid, and then I have a 60 bid, and then we're going to dump this a little bit below 123.50. So if 123.50 breaks, then we'll get out of Apple. But for right now, I like this moving to the high side right here. Let's see if we can't catch Apple sleeping here and get this out somewhere like, if we can even even take this high, 124.50, put another 60 cents in our pocket through today. We're now 4x daily, so I'm really, really happy. And I see everybody in the chat saying that they've hit their goals as well. So that means a lot, guys. Thank you for watching the show, and thank you for listening to stocks that Brendan gives you. What's up, Brendan?
Okay, so we were talking about Kathy Wood and her purchasing plan. So this was yesterday going into the report, guys. 1.3 million Palantir. So that was on Monday. So imagine what today brings, guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to be pretty solid. It's got to look pretty good. One other name that's been beaten up and has participated, now obviously it's a little bit further from the radar because there were some, I guess, more outsized moves to the downside this morning that were concerning for us. Uber made a bit of a move. About a $2 move, I should say, but it's holding VWAP on every single retracement. I'm looking at this 55 even to try to pick some shares up for the day trade, obviously. And this is going to be a little bit frustrating because I got out of Coinbase with the full intention of, hey, test that 280. I'm going to get right back into this one on that little dip. Now, I got a couple of bids in here. That's me trying to chase it a little bit. As it bounced off at 280, I'm like, okay, I'll get it on the north side of 281, which is usually the plan. I just missed it. Hopefully it can come back to me, maybe consolidate down here, and I can actually get that reentry. This is why I took it off. When I get that 85 and I didn't get that $1.50 winner, which I should have taken. That's why I take it out at 84. I'm not holding it all the way down. I like another price better. I'll wait for that one, take a smaller hit, and then jump back into the trade at a better price. I also mentioned I was going to get out of that Virgin Galactic with a tight stop. On the short, that's what we do. It hasn't broken through the high. If it does, I'm looking probably 17.50 if you can stall there. Much better at 18 where it did close in yesterday's action. And Brendan mentioned Carnival. Brendan mentioned Carnival and looking at some of the cruise space. Another wipeout and then consolidation breakout. You're right back in bouncing off VWAP as well. So I like this one for a bit of a VWAP bounce. It's right here right now. Actually, I was gonna wait until like the mid 50s here, but it's like whatever. I'll pay the 60s and end up here with a long at 65, which is fine. And then if we can hold 25.50 on a Carnival, I'll like this one back up to that 26 range. Because that's a pre-market top, there's a really decent chance if I get out of this for you get that 25, 30 cent scalp win, 2x risk to reward. I might be looking for a reversal into the short off of 26 even, just because it is 26 even dollar range, and we're past that 10 o'clock. So time of day is about right as well.
I wanted to just to tell people right now that if you are nervous about your holdings or something like that, I really think today is a day that you can get out of some of these trades if you don't like them, right? Like DraftKings today, although it's way down. Obviously, if you look at a daily chart here, it's pretty pathetic. But we did touch 42, right? And so now you're getting an opportunity to get out at 44.50. I'm not doing it. Most of my trades are going to be for longer terms. But the point I'm trying to get at is like if you're nervous, we came in today with a lot of people screaming and shouting, right? And rightfully so. I mean, the market was getting killed and didn't look like it had a bottom. And I don't think it does have a bottom, but it never has a bottom. I mean, the bottom is infinitely right down, so infinitely up. There is a bottom at zero, but you could still fall down. There's still going to be rhetoric that this move was just sort of a relief rally. So I just want to let people know that if you're sitting here loading up right now, I love Palantir. Don't get it twisted. Like I was long and I love this stock, but we were at $16. Okay, now you're back to 20. Like that's a move that some stocks make in a year. Okay, like going from 16 up to 20, that's 15% reversal, almost 20% reversal in a day. Now, obviously, we want to hold these stocks and we want to go for longer term. But if you are getting a little nervous, you've gotten a little bit of a breaking out here. Like you should have not been really, if we were buying Palantir and you're long in this area, like 21s, 22s. This reminds me a little bit of QS. Remember when QS, they had that negative report and we were long at 41 and we got out at 37? Look what's happened here. This is where we went long. We thought this was a bottom, right? We went long here 41. That report literally comes out either the next day or the same day. I don't even remember. It must have been the next day. Comes out that morning, dips down, and then we get out some here, 37, 38, something like that in the pre-market. It does go down to 30, comes right back to 40, and then flushes again. So there's always going to be opportunities here to get out of your shares. So take that opportunity, guys, sometimes. And, if you have that little feeling that, you know what, I'm fully invested. I see people making comments like, oh, now I got to go, taking a part-time job and things like that. I don't want that for anybody. So just kind of get out if you are a little bit nervous. There is a bump. There's always tomorrow. Apple, we just loaded up. My average price now 71. So considering, and again, we get that question about averaging in, right? Where do you start to average in? Well, my out's going to be 50s. So I take my biggest spot at 66, which gives me this average price right here of 71. So if we can get this going again on the NASDAQ, Apple should be a nice little win for us as Palantir retracing back down as well.
There was another name on the watch list. I don't think maybe Brendan maybe talked about INO here. It's still down 5%. They were down hard offerings. A lot of things were obviously. I made a push in here to 640, but look at this cluster. Yeah, so I mean, I short breakdowns here when I see a situation like this on a beat up stock, and it gives you that little bull flag that everyone's going to be loving for potential long break. I like to fade those on weaker names, and INO on the daily chart is going to qualify as one of those. If we break this 25, 6/4, I'm going to the short side on that trade. It was short-lived on CCL. I'm not gonna sit here and dig into any of these like retracement plays. We'll go with tighter stops on every single one of them because you want to preserve a little bit of that day. I might have missed. I don't know. I don't want to say that I've missed the boat on Coinbase because you start to see it consolidate in this range, and at this point, I like that rubber band action because it would have snapped you up here at 281, and then you're immediately taking the $2 win. You can sit in the money. You've already banked some profit. If it goes to VWAP, you get the rest of that out. Now, if it breaks down, at this point, no. It's like if it can't make that second move, it's the same thing here. If you don't get that first trade, let's wait back and sit back a little bit. There's no need to rush into the next one. If it breaks lower, it maybe even takes out 280 even. I'd look back to that 277. Maybe we're catching like a 276, something along those lines would look a little more enticing to me. I'm still watching that Virgin Galactic. Of course, I could have held on to it. I don't want to be holding anything that's against, here we go. Anything that's against the grain too far, it is starting to roll over, so I could have held on to what would have been a winner at this point. If it breaks 16, I kind of feel like this one could fall like an absolute rock. Remember that Hull price was about 585, and those tend to matter. So if this breaks down any further, I'd watch out on Virgin Galactic. I don't think this is necessarily like the craziest buy point of all time. I almost wouldn't mind buying in stronger momentum. Closing up on the day would be that kind of a sign, and we're nowhere close to that yet.
Apple right now ripping faces off, 50 cents now in the money on AAPL. We're long 65, guys. It's at 11s and 12s. And again, we talked about buying Apple and why we liked it. Brendan, small cap recap, let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning right across the board. Let's jump into a few small caps that were moving around this morning. I mentioned this one just before the open, I want to say, or maybe it was after. Jumaya down on earnings as well, just crushed. It was down 20% at one point in the pre-market here. Nice consolidation heading towards the open here. A few things to look at, 1875, 19.5. And then 2075, just these little tiny support areas as it was falling initially for JMIA. Initial strength comes in with the overall market. So I actually flipped to the long side here, got a really nice long trade. So the initial short obviously doesn't work, but a really nice long trade all the way back to 20.5. Trying this again, just using this 2075. We'll see if we can't get back to 22. This is 23.5 from yesterday at the close for JMIA. Another one, if you remember ALF or ALFI or ALFI, whatever we decided it was called yesterday, 420 ends up being a bit of resistance here in the midday yesterday. It did give you a test of that right at the open, falling on its face as it should for ALF at this point. And then CIRC, the only one that was kind of moving around in the pre-market to the upside. I said 310 and 320 in the pre-market gives you both of those and then some. We're all the way back to 270, so a big time reversal there for CERC. Guys.
Speaking of things that are yesterday, I mean, I talked about FireEye for me was one of those, and we talked about the reasons why we're shorting in yesterday's action. Just couldn't get off its butt, even with some positive catalysts and continued cyber attacks and all that nonsense. And I said if it showed any strength in today's action, I was going to short it off the top, so that's exactly what happened here. It bounced from 19, trying to get to that $20 range, double topped at 19.89. I'm like, okay, once it puts in a lower high, I'll jump into it. Gonna give it back to like 20 even. If it rolls over, if it touches like 90, like the high 90s and rolls over, I'd probably look to add some more shares in. Looking for like particular setups, and of course, I mean, I showed you me just missing that entry point in the Coinbase. It's going to happen to you. I never got that 281. I tried to catch it after it bounced. You can see it level off there. So we'll have missed out on that long term. The idea was right, in my opinion, to sort of get out of that 85, wait for that 81 entry point. Once it bounced off 80, try to get those 81s and change. Comes right back in 85. If you hold it the whole way, are you flat? Sure. I don't think that's the way to go about doing things. If you have a plan of action, you try to follow it. So I will have missed out on that Coinbase trade, which is fine. I'd rather miss on something than break a rule and have an accidental win, which is going to happen to you from time to time. The market wants to reward you for doing the wrong thing at particular times. Going back to Square, if only because this has successfully continued to bounce off the open. Ignore this little wick here, screwing up my chart at 227. Still looking to see if it can get through that 215. That was our target out. I like that one, but if we can't start holding some of these levels on the way back in, and I'm looking at 210 even on Square, I start thinking about the short. And if we break 210, you got to think about shorting that Square. I much prefer to be shorting Virgin Galactic on a breakdown at 16, but Square would fall firmly into that if we can't hold some of these breakout levels. We're still at exactly that 1% mark, which is odd because that's kind of where I thought we'd get to and then slow down in the NASDAQ, and that's where we are. So if we break down any further, I want to be a bull on Square, but if we can't hold 210, I gotta be short.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I wish I knew, Neil, that it was going to get to that percentage spot because both of us, I mean, we could have loaded up on lots of those names, man. Like, that space was just a gift, obviously, there at $15. Like, damn, it should have hit that for sure. That is space, the final frontier on that one. Okay, just to go on Apple, guys, we just took a 63-cent win there on the high side. It ripped up. We got at 124.27. I still think that trade exists. So let's wait to see if Apple continues to go, man. We're long at 123.65. Like, that was just another one for us today. So really, again, just happy with the way everything is pairing out for us here. Couldn't be happier, to be honest with you, with the way today's been trading. Other than missing out, we do always talk about our losers. Like this Microsoft trade, we were loaded up. I think it was 243.80. It dips down. We take that. No, it wasn't a dollar hit, according to my P&L, but we did take. I can actually find out for you. We did take that hit, and then it rips up to the upside. So that's why we're sort of right now trying to seek some revenge right now. So we took a monster trade on Facebook, made that money back on Facebook. Long 301, out 301.75. Out 302.50, so that was a good trade as well. Palantir, we played this like a fiddle today. Just should have got our last piece out right there. Didn't. That was the only mistake there. And then Alibaba, how high up are you right now? We took a 216.50 break. That gave us $1.25. First out was $1, then $1.25, then 75 cents right there. Sorry, then flat. Sorry, that's 50 and $1 and flat. So that was a good trade as well. Let's check back in on DraftKings. Not really doing too much. And then our PaySafe there got out on this dip back down. We talked about that, but I did want to look at this again, breaking through 12. So really, that's where my eyes are right now, looking at PaySafe through that 12. Other than that, man, we're waiting for just some more moves. I mean, I'm happy with Apple right now. I think we'll have to look at Square. Neo at $30, man. We cried that in the pre-market, and you can see where that is now. NIO. I don't know if you have a position on that, Neil, but no, 34 and change.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, it's sort of like dancing around that 34 mid-mark. I had a reversal long that I probably took out too early, and then it was short. It was a muted success as well. So I'm actually watching Palantir here because it broke that 20, right? So it's like a failed break at 20 even, and FireEye's going to start to work, and that's fine. But Palantir's piqued my interest here. If it does bounce a couple of times off this 19 and fail to make another test of that 20, you start thinking about, okay, well, where is the reversal on this? I mean, it's such a gift, I think, for everybody that there will be some profit taking in here, and it's going to start to set up for both the secondary breakout, which maybe that's going to be lunchtime, maybe that's going to be the afternoon, who knows, or that quick little short idea that we usually do. I finally got into Uber for the first time today. Been waiting for that one to come back to me. Brendo?
Man, what a move on this one as well. We talked about 3D systems, guys. This thing was sitting down here below its aftermarket highs and wasn't looking too strong, but pretty impressive. Got up into some daily levels here, 23 and change at the top, but struggling, guys. 3D, 23% for that one, guys.
Yeah. Mark Roberts was actually talking about 3D for a while with us, and then that was months ago. Like when you were talking about that big bump up there, we can take a quick look here at 3D. Definitely missed that one. Whoops, that's too many Ds. Definitely missed that one, but let's go. Oh, it's not NQ? Oh, 3D is an NY name. Okay. Over there on the NYSE right here. Wow, 24%, Brendan, like you mentioned. But look at this thing, just riding view up all the way up. So trying to think about a break right now, 21.75. I actually like this for a break downside. This is probably up way too much right now. So, 21.75. We'll take a short on 3D. I just got to remember to do it. Hopefully we do have shortable shares. There's Palantir, man. This is my day on Palantir. Up and then back down. So that was, good. If you ever see purple, guys, often we get questions about, are we trading equities? Are we trading CFDs? What are we doing here? Are we doing options? We're just trading straight equities. So we're able to be funded by Day Trade the World. So, no problem there. It's a proprietary trading. Our #1 sponsor, you guys can find them. DTTW. DTTW.com I don't think will work, maybe. But daytradetheworld.com will work for sure. Head over there. There's a couple of good videos as well that we have up. If you need to understand the process of opening up an office, you can contact our partner recruitment team at DTTW. So again, we're trading with equity, and whether or not we take 1,000 shares, 50 shares, whatever, we're trying to show you, trying to paint a picture here for you on what we're looking at. And look, thank you for joining us. Man, that was a fun open, Neil.
Sean, you're trying to paint a picture. I'm a horrible artist, so I'll use a different analogy. All of those genes went to everybody in my family but me. Everyone in my family has artistic skill, except for myself. So
you have memory skill.
Oh, well, let's not get into that.
What?
I have a ridiculous memory about things that I don't control. So I'll remember random movie quotes and baseball stats that you can't even think about. But then when I try to remember somebody's birthday, it's you've got to be kidding me. What am I like? I'm completely useless.
Thank God for Google Calendar, my friend.
It's the greatest thing of all. Sorry. I know all of my friends' birthdays off by heart, guys. I don't actually look it up on a calendar ever. Apologies for that. I want to come back to Uber because it was a while back that I mentioned that it made the jailbreak and I was going to play a trade off of VWAP in 45. I did get the 11 while we were talking there, scalped it to the bottom end of this range, which I usually do here at that quarter mark. Now it's retesting. I'll reload here at 45. If it doesn't want to hold, if it breaks like 44.95, again, I'm going to have tight stops on these trades. And if it comes back up to 50s, I'll take some out there. I'll take some out at the quarters, rinse and repeat. But I'm not giving these retracement longs a ton of room, as you can see. I'll scalp some out. You just want to stay positive on this. And yeah, FireEye still going down. I'm not taking anything until it gets 20 cents in the money. Brendo?
Another little one that had earnings we've mentioned before, NanoX Imaging in the X-ray, medical device X-ray technology space, medical device maker. NNOX just coming back into 22, which was a bit of a level here in the pre-market. So interesting look here for NNOX, still down huge off of earnings. It's 10:30. That means that there is 1 hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V's watching what's going on over there. Fun times in Europe, V?
Not really, Brandon. Europe is very negative with retail, travel, stocks among the biggest losers. IAG, travel operator trading in London, is down more than 6% after announcing a convertible bond offering plan worth 800 million euros. Back to you.
Yeah, we tried. Can't win everywhere, I guess, guys. But yeah, pretty negative over there. We're trying here at least, right?
Yeah, Mark is trying. We got to give him credit for that. Look at Palantir, though, guys. We are now $1 in the money on Palantir. This one up and down. We just talked about that game today. Look at the NASDAQ, man. We were saying that remember when it was up here and I was saying, if you're nervous, you may want to take a piece or two off. So I don't hope, you guys do as you please, but that was a good opportunity, I feel like, to get some out of the way in the market off that NASDAQ bump. So yeah, right now it's coming back to the downside. We're looking to reload on some of these longs, guys, and then cash out on this Palantir. Let's see if it touches this VWAP, man. 1879 VWAP there on Palantir, a good little level for us.
Yeah, and remember that FireEye? Yeah, it finally hit down here at 65, so able to take some out. If it gets to view up, I'm going to take some more out of this. I'm actually looking for a breakdown. If it can break 1950, I'll hold on to the last third. And because, given the sentiment that I felt on it in yesterday's action, you guys were following the show, I'll probably go back into this trade if it ticks up and retests that 20 even. Feel a little bit better about that one. And then you're going to come back over to Uber. We took one crack at it. We took two shots at it. And it's going to be similar to that CCL. I don't mind having the tight stop in here. You can take a small win, come back in. I just feel like there's no need to be digging into that long trade at this particular time. It's such a big move up that if some of these stocks are retracing and holding below VWAP or some of these key retracement levels, you don't want this turning into a negative day. And then you're throwing away a profit you made on that such an incredibly strong move that we saw off the open. preserve some of that profit, like Sean said. Like it behooves you to do that on a day like today. Still looking for that space to either look. It's got to or get off the pot, which either means retest back up towards the high, give me an entry point to maybe roll it over and try shorting off the top, or break that 16 to the downside on Virgin Galactic, the one that got away. We don't mind showing win, lose, or draw, how it happens in these stocks. And I told you guys, get out of this one on Coinbase. Look back to that 281. That was going to be the re-entry point. Of course, I missed it. I bungled that one a little bit for you guys. And then it comes right back in. You get that 85. You're getting 87s now. I still want to be very, very bullish on Coinbase just because we've talked about this. It hit that reference price at 250. And then once it's bounced off that, it's been just hella strong, especially with that dip that I missed out on. Well, I didn't miss out on it. I just took it out too early. I had it. Just didn't hold on to it on Coinbase yesterday. So we came in wanting the same thing. We actually did hold on to it. If it retests that low, I'm all over this one at 275. I just feel like the money got flushed out of this, which you're seeing in a lot of these other stocks today, happened already a couple of sessions ago in Coinbase. So we can feel pretty good about the bullish case, at least for the day trade going forward. Once you crack 300, I think that could be like all systems go for retracing some of those levels that you had from the original IPO price.
Yep.
Or direct listing, I should say.
Yeah, Coinbase, the 280, 250 there. Yeah, good reference price. So you had that yesterday, like you mentioned, or 259, I think you had yesterday, right? Okay, yeah, Coinbase, I'd be buying that one hand over fist. I mean, there's a couple different names that you guys know that we like. So be very, very careful here on some of that, right? And so you got to watch out where you're buying stock and what stock you're buying right now as the market is moving, and it's a fluid piece right now. As you can see, Palantir coming to the downside for sure. We're going to watch that one now, looking at that VWAP spot, so not sure what's happening there, but we're going to watch it. That is Palantir. We're doing pretty good here. I'm light. I'm only on Palantir short right now, watching it. So let's wait to see what happens now with Palantir. I do like the battle back on AMD today as well. If those of you that are looking at a potential win for yourself, AMD is a potential spot for that. I think that it's already been beat down. It's very similar to that Neo trade, right? If I zoom this back out, we're right here. We're right here, and we did crush that spot today. So, it might have made that bottom 72.80. We've seen this happen before. Like, what a gift that was, $73 long there on AMD. I don't have the ability to go in there and trade until we're done the show, but that's a good long there. I'm already hella long AMD. My last buy was around here, 77, something like that. So we're hella long, but we're long down here and added to it right up here. So I like AMD. I like NVIDIA just as much. I mean, I'm still long NVIDIA. I just prefer AMD. I can get a little more money in there with the price. So I figure that they trade, almost identical. You could see here, I mean, I don't know what NVIDIA was doing in this area for the last 6 months, basically doing absolutely nothing, gets that breakout on earnings and now fading back in a little bit right at that 50 period. So I think that the semis can be bought here, and that's what I'm looking to do, semi-buy off some of these dips. Tesla as well, man, at 604. How high did that get today, Tesla? Right now back to 603. You can see this market coming back in. Tesla gets today, this is a 1 day. Let's go to a 1 minute. Whoa, 625. So this is what I mean, guys. It gets all the way back to yesterday's close. So if you were nervous about the action today, there's your out. Tesla fading back in. This may be a good long off 600 here.
Yeah, I mean, it's fading back in, then below VWAP. We talked about some of these stocks cracking VWAP here quickly. That triple D, 3D, consolidates off 2150. Was able to quickly just get in the mid 40s. I like to add to it here, and you look at that first support, which is at 2180. It's right around VWAP as well. That would be the out. So all I got on is FireEye, which, I mean, I know the market's going to come down, but I mean, FireEye we wanted to short yesterday. That's probably more of a yesterday play off a level than anything momentum related. But the pullback on some of these names, and 3D is going to be included, or we're going to be playing. Virgin Galactic, maybe we missed out on the consolidation short because I didn't hold on to this one. It's starting to look like it wants to break down as well. So I'm looking at 16 even. If that cracks, I mean, look, you're getting all the way. You're 1.5 now on the NASDAQ. The ES, basically the same thing. The Dow also looking weak as well. So if 16 cracks on Virgin Galactic, I'm all over to the short side. The problem here is, remember, a lot of these names are short sell restricted. So you go to hit that bid, you need the uptick because we can scan dark pools with some of our routing orders. Hopefully I can get that fill at 16. If I don't, I'm going to have to look for a consolidation below VWAP, maybe a little bit of a bounce back up to get into that position. It's not there yet. It's holding for now, but that could change really, really quickly. So still got that FireEye in 3D. Looking for some bottom picks on the long. I mean, the one I really want in Coinbase is now 289, so that's hella strong.
Yeah, I was looking. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to talk a little bit about crypto here, just to see Cardano right now holding up strong, guys. 170, no dip in Cardano. Although yesterday we did have a little one. Let's go a 1 hour dip here for Cardano. Yesterday it's ADA. We dipped down into the 150s, 154, 153. I did sell some, so I do have to admit that I sold some at 165 yesterday, right in the middle here on this dip down. Just as we ended our afternoon show, Ethereum broke down below, and we'll talk about Ether in a minute. So I did take some off ADA. My price is embarrassingly low, as some of you guys have similar trades. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just taking some profits there. I don't like that move. I did swing into some Dogecoin. Don't tell my wife there. She was like, what the hell are you doing? And then here's Ether right now as well. This is that dip we were talking about. This literally happened right at 4 o'clock yesterday. This goes down to 3,500. And I did talk about that. I put down, actually another tweet that I had out yesterday was about this breakout. And if you guys are watching here, where is it? It was right in here somewhere about yesterday. Oh yeah, we're celebrating today's big moves there. It was right in here. Who knows where it was? Oh, I talked about the earnings report there. Here it is right here. Crypto, that's 18 hours ago, getting hit here. We were waiting for 3,300 on Ether, right? You guys could see that almost came in. We almost pulled the trigger. It only goes to 35. So now, new level 3,500 on Ether, but it's all the way back, man. It just cracked 4,200 this morning. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another earnings name we mentioned in the pre-market, guys, Smile Direct Club was on the upgrades and downgrades too, I believe. They reported aftermarket yesterday, not good. We came back, tested those levels, but I mean, if there was one that's not looking so great right now, SDC has to be that one, guys. Still down better part of 4% here.
Oh, I got another one that's doing quite.
Thought it would have been more.
Doing
right?
quite well. Well, not doing well. We'll do a backflip. Why? Because there was no way after all the crap that all the crap that got talked about and FireEye. Well, I mean, I think Sean and I did. I don't remember what Mark had to say about them. Anyways, I'll try to briefly go over this one because the stock does not move. It had not been moving with all of the rhetoric and all of the issues that you had about with ransomware and hacking attacks and whatnot. It was basically range bound. And when you had the fact that they were working on the latest one, it tried to bounce up 5%. And like, if there's no follow through, you got to be shorting it. I wanted it to get higher. It never did. We shorted that one yesterday. Is a good one. I said any strength today, we short into it. There's a view op retracement. I'm going to hold through some of these shares. We got that 1983. And we're going to see if we can't get down towards some of these lows of the day, especially with the market rolling over. It's one of those, if you find yourself in the money on a short, even if you had a target, why not roll the dice a little bit and just see if it can't follow through? Different story here on 3D systems because it's consolidating off VWAP, so you have to watch out. Like if this breaks back up like 2180, you don't want it retesting the high. I mean, the stock is $1.50 away from the high of the day. Now, am I risking $1.50 on the short trade at 21.5? No chance in hell. I'll risk 30 cents thinking that we can maybe get back down in and around this 2050 to 21 range and then give myself like a 2 or 3 to 1 win loss. So I got a bit of a tighter out here on that 3D system because we're going against the grain just a little bit. Tesla was just at 600. And then, I mean, it just slightly bounced off it, like a little tiny itty bitty bounce for a couple of dollars. I don't love this one, to be honest with you. The way the market's screaming to the downside, I don't know if I like buying off this 600 level on Tesla, so I'm going to back away from it. I'm looking to short Virgin Galactic when it breaks 16. I'm looking to pick up Coinbase if it makes another flush down to 280, and it just gave back $3. So count me out for Tesla off of 600 at least for now.
Yeah, I said we were going to look at it, and I don't know. I'm holding this short right now in Palantir, 90 cents in the money. And this is what it looks like on a 3-minute. Oh my God, I don't have my water. Sorry about that, Shakib. I didn't even realize I don't have the water. I'll go get it. 605 here, 603. This is VWAP on a 3-minute, of course. So we're just watching that level to see if we break higher. I kind of like this break right here, 607, 608. So kind of with you on that, especially if the NASDAQ comes back. I don't mind a 607 break on a Tesla, so that might be coming very, very soon. I don't think we will take that. 607 break on Tesla is good. Yeah, 607. Okay, so we're going to take a 607 break on Tesla, and then we can give that a little bit of room back down. So that should be a good one. If it breaks out, I think we can give it back to sort of this This VWAP right here, 604 maybe, $4 or $5 on Tesla. Might not be enough, but with the market trying to battle back here, we're stuck right in the middle, right? That balance, that poll that we had is still 50-50. So I still don't know where it's going to go. It's one way or the other at this time, but I'm going to take a 607 break here on Tesla, guys. Sector Watch.
Good timing.
With Brendan. Yeah, it's fast today. What's up?
What is up? Nothing. The answer to that question, as you can see, I mean, it's very, very red today, right across the board as expected. Norton LifeLock, apparently, 8.5%. They're enjoying today, having quite the day. There's PRGO, there's VTRS over here in the healthcare group. Everything else, though, yeah, very red. Consumer discretionary is leading to the downside so far. All the travel names over here, even the autos. We mentioned GM. Sean was just talking about Tesla there, 3.2. To the downside, there's Gap, BBY, L Brands, Lowe's, all the retail names. Yeah, under pressure to say the least. eBay even 2.7% to the downside. So consumer discretionaries, industrials as well. The entire sector here in the red. Honeywell, 1.2% to the upside. So every once in a while you get one of those big, strong, blue chip companies that holds up in a day like this. I wanted to mention DFS here, 4.3% earnings name as well. IVZ, Ben, Met, AIG. The entire banking sector really getting hit. I was kind of curious to see what energy stocks were going to do today with that pipeline still being closed, but Oxy down 8%, PXD 7%, EOG, FANG, everything in this group really getting hit today as well. So negativity right across the board, 1.5 overall to the downside for the S&P. Let's go back to Neil.
Wow, I mean, I did not notice that Oxy. Of course, I just said like, I'm not going to take the Tesla off 600, and it just went up to like 607, 608. So it's making a bit of a move. I can't ignore the bloodbath that's happening in Occidental here, and not take at least a little bit of a look to see if it can't hold the bottom. I mean, you're looking at like 24.30. There's a little bit of support, maybe lower at that 24 even, but it sort of behooves me to look at this consolidation here and say the market's slowing down to the downside. I was looking for a couple of places to go into any kind of a long. Of course, that triple D, got to have that tight stop. That's a strong one on the short side, and we just got out of that. Holding on to FireEye. I'm going to reload FireEye in front of that 20 even. We're not done with that stock by any stretch of the imagination. But I think Occidental, I mean, wow, 8% to the downside. That feels like a little bit much here, and I might try to take up a little bit of shares here. I wanted to break back above 50. Let's get it with some momentum going. Like if it breaks back and even tries to take out some of these, some of this consolidation off of the low of the day, as opposed to just stepping in front of that sword. You got the 24 quarters, you're out anyway, so you might as well let it break like 50s or 55s into the long side. But yeah, you got my attention with Oxy to make a bit of a move to the upside here. I've already talked about FireEye. I want to get back into that, but PaySafe have done nothing since that open trade. And we got a couple of cracks at this one. Well, I mean, 3 cracks at a pre-market dip at the open, and then a higher low that it put in. But have touched nothing since. It tried to break that 12, it did. Got up to that, like I guess 35, not quite to that 50. And it as well is looking at that potential like roll. I call it like 1160 or call it even that VWAP at 1150. I much prefer the short, and I'm going to have it in Virgin Galactic if it rolls over, but it's a very similar setup happening in PaySafe, and also shorts are restricted. I just got that Occidental, so I can blame Brendan if it doesn't work. No, I'm just kidding. But if it breaks low of the day, I'm out of Oxy. That's at 24 quarters. Miss V at the big screen.
Hey guys, our friend Sterling Silver is really want you to look into Boeing. Stock is down around 4%. Any thoughts, guys, on BA?
Sir.
I can have a quick look. I just got into Tesla there, so we're waiting to see what that stock wants to do and give us to some upside. I'm going to hold this one till 600, like we said. So it's going to be a big hit. Well, not, it's $7 if it happens. But right now, Tesla just dancing for me. So we'll wait to see where it wants to dance to here, up and down. It's just bouncing off. We did take that trade. We went and grabbed our water, but I don't think I would have took it out anyways. 608.60 was the highest it got. What are we long at? That would have been $1.50. Well worth it. Let's wait to see high side here. I don't think we need to hold for the high of the day. I mean, if the NASDAQ goes, then that's fantastic. But You know, $7 down, $7 up, you know, 615. I mean, I'm going to hold for 620. I think at this area, hopefully, is a good spot for us. But Tesla still needs to do work. I mean, this one, you know, if the market has its high put in already, then it's going to be very, very tough for Tesla to stay above 700. We know it's, you know, a loved stock in the NASDAQ realm. But if the NASDAQ comes falling down, which it's doing right now, Tesla will as well. So we're going to hold this one. We're taking a shot here with Tesla. I do prefer, obviously, that 600 long, but here it comes in, man, screaming. Of course, I go long, and then the market does this. Tesla to the downside.
Yeah, and speaking of a downside, I still want this version. Like, I wish, you know, it hasn't traded down through the 16. A couple of dark pool prints there. Still looking for that breakdown. I did get that Occidental. You're going to see, I'll just quickly show you here, guys. I know I said 24.25. The low is 24.29. I'm just not, like, I'm never throwing a stop at 24.29. I just always going to put it either I'm holding it to 24 even, which I'm not, or I'm looking for like 24.25, round and around that number. Give it a couple extra cents to allow it to test that low. If it can pop up to VWAP, I like that risk return. I want to make sure I get a couple of legs out in front of VWAP, and then hopefully that 25 mark gives you a little bit more juice. I just finished saying that FireEye was going to average into it because it bounced off VWAP here. It gets to like 1970. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we're going to get back in that 75, 80 range off that 20s. And it's already stalling out. So, I mean, it's weird to say because I still have some of these 83 short, but I want it to come back up so I can get more at a good price. I don't want to be shorting too far away from 20 even because that's where my out is going to be. Occidental, trying to move in. There's about 10 cents in the money. Gets to like 15, 20. We'll start taking some of that out. Big shout out to Brennan for getting that one to me. Can't believe that was down 8%, to be honest with you. FireEye starting to creep up. Going to throw some orders here in the mid to high 80s to get more into that one. Short, if it's below 20 bucks, I'm short FireEye today.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. I think it was with Mark Roberts there about the oil patch, right? I don't like FireEye. I prefer Palo Alto. What's up, Brendan?
One more to look at, guys. We didn't mention Affirm, but AFRM reported as well. Trying to retake some of these levels down here on the daily chart and hold as well. This 52 ends up holding on that last little pullback, but earnings aftermarket yesterday, not good as expected for Affirm.
Like, that's another one that if you talk about like opportunities to get out of it, right? Like, I don't know, I kind of kick myself over. Why didn't that come up? Load. Okay, did my daily chart work? There we go. I talked about this one before. It's like you're sitting there, and I had a great long off 65, and I'm like, okay, let's do what we did with Virgin Galactic, where you take that quarter and then hold on to a little bit. Never took the quarter, and now you're holding to death. And it's like, if it can't make a rally off of this, it gives you an opportunity on some consolidation to get it. If it had spiked into like 55 to 60, 100%, just immediately take it off. Now you're just looking, if it breaks a 50 stop, you can always get out of it that way, which is probably going to have to be the route. I got to go, if I can find it, where's my Brendan Goat? Where's my Brendan Goat? There we go, there's my Brendan Goat. And these segments are, one of the reasons why you do like Happening Now or Sector Watch is so that you get an overall view of what's going on in the market, something you might be missing. Maybe something's not on the watch list. Occidental wasn't. You get that 8% to the downside, putting in a higher low at that 24 quarter, which is a low, and we can get these 50s, immediately gonna get some out of 24, 75 or in front of it. I'll take some more out in this consolidation. It breaks view up, I'll take some out of 25. I love at this time of day with the market just coming back in, trying to hold a low. I look for something which was previously strong, where I can find a good level, maybe came back a little bit too hard here, and then just take a nice little scalp trade. So I'd rather be doing a little bit of that. Dig into the things you got conviction with, whether it's a FireEye short that I'm trying to get more shares of as we speak into those 80s. We're looking for Virgin Galactic to roll over. Fine. But while it's happening, you can get some ideas, which we did here, and then take some profit on something like an Occidental. Doesn't have to be a gigantic move, but if you have a good setup and a good risk to reward, you can always put the trade on and take advantage of it. Speaking of Brendan, he's already back for Money Talks.
Been 10 minutes, I promise. DXY, I want to mention the dollar index right here, right now at 90. So this is the line in the sand for the dollar index. You're going to find a lot of these in positive territory today because of that continued weakness in the US dollar. So 93 straight back to lows here at 90 for the US dollar. Can't get out of its own way. That means the euro up 0.3, 121.6. Canadian dollar was a little bit higher earlier, but has come back to about break even, 82.5 for the CAD. The British pound, 141.5, up another 0.2. Everything else positive for the most part outside New Zealand there, but only just. Turkish lira, 0.4%. The cryptos, I should say. Bitcoin, 1%. You can see Ethereum back below 4,000 here, 3,994 at the moment, still up 2% though. Ripple as well, back to the upside today after a couple of impressive moves for Ripple, but actually leading the way right now. For these three anyways, 3.5%, guys. Back to you.
You're like a good luck charm, Brennan. I'm gonna go and we'll hit it again. I'm just gonna keep hitting it every single time. You give the juice there. Here's that 25. Here's that VWAP on Occidental. Now, because I hit second target, I'm only going to hold on to the last third of the trade. I move my stop up in this particular situation. If it's gonna fail off of if it's gonna fail off of VWAP and fail off of this 25 level at this point, down 8%. Well, it was down 8%, down 6.5%, showing some signs of weakness here. I'm not going to let it retest low at that point. I'll just get out if it breaks this like 24.40-ish area, which is close enough to break even that it can't be a losing trade. And if it does that, fair enough. I'll look for maybe holding like that bottom, maybe holding a 24 bottom. But you take the profit and run. That's what we try to do around here, especially at this time of day.
All right, unplug time. Tesla right now. Whoop, there it is. Okay, so it does go down against us about $4 or $5. Now it's in the money about $4 or $5. So we're looking for this kind of a level up here, man. 617 and change on TSLA. We're long at 607. We talked about why we like that spot here. VWAP was there. There's a lot. We talked about it on the 3-minute, how we like that bottom. And then I'm just looking, maybe 615 is the best. This may be a decent level there now that I look at it on a 3-minute. For a 1-minute, we do have some more upside here. Let's wait to see, though. The NASDAQ right now, this is a $4 winner. It may take some out. NASDAQ bump, though. I think we could go higher. A couple wicks here, 615. Let's take 615. If we can get 615 on Tesla, guys, we should take this $8. It's well worth it. So here it comes upside now. Maybe it's going to scream even higher. Why didn't it just go there? It stopped at 612. I don't really see. If we go back to a larger time frame here on Tesla, this is the 20-minute chart. So again, it's going to be nothing because we're so low today. But 620 is still there. I like the 620. But yeah, no real idea where to get out other than the fact that we could do a trailing stop maybe. But just we don't want to get wicked out of that one. So we'll wait to see where Tesla wants to go. But I'm basically just kind of using a 1-to-1. Like my out was going to be 600, which would be $7. And then if we can get out at 615, that'll be 8. So it's close enough. I think we'll probably do that. Let's put Tesla offer somewhere around 614 and take advantage of this move up, man. We talked about today fading into some of these moves, right? And not holding on for too long. So hopefully this can go to 614 and we'll cash out a little bit of Tesla, but it just had a problem there at 612, guys.
Yeah, if you want to see my opening stock, which stunk the most, probably look at that workhorse, obviously off the open. I wanted some short exposure, and of course that small cap, which didn't work out. It was the only one on the board, that Cirque. That was gapping up, and of course it turns out to be fine now, but had to take my stops and my hits. I like the weakness in workhorse. It has reversed pretty much exactly at yesterday. I mean, to a dime, to a penny. Sorry, at yesterday's close. One time, I just got more shares of FireEye. I kind of feel like it's not that strong of a retracement move back to the upside. So I look at this level and hey, look at this. Look at that lower consolidation. Is that $8? Is that $8.05? Is that yesterday's low in the afternoon? Yeah, that's about the same price. So you got that 820 as cover. You get a good, nice little entry point here on that same range. If I can pick up some shares here, and I'm talking about shorting, obviously, in workhorse. It's not about revenge trading. You know, I held off here. I could have got out of this when it broke 750 and immediately been like, I'm shorting in front of 8. I'm shorting in front of 820. No, I just let things settle down, make some other trades that I felt were a little bit better opportunities, allow this to fail a little bit off of that close from yesterday, then find its range at this $8 range. I can get in here, take some shares from 8 to 805, maybe wait for some 815s. I know my stop's going to be at that quarter mark. If it rolls to VWAP, great. If it breaks even further than that, perfect. So we've got that starter in workhorse. Oxy, on the other hand, I don't know. I throw that offer in there. Like, you kidding me? Did it really? Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I threw that offer right in front of 25. I think I missed it by 1 cent. So missed it by that much, getting the last out of Occidental. At this point, when it rolls back, if it breaks break even, I'm going to be out anyways. There's almost no point having it in front of that 25 again. Either I'm getting out shy of VWAP, or I'm holding it for a 25 break. So I'll probably lean to the former, just because I want to be conservative at this time of day on a stock where I'm going against the grain. Occidental had all kinds of weaknesses Brennan showed there and brought to your attention, but there was a great bounce off the bottom. If it didn't have the follow through, whoops, fair enough. Moved that in the wrong price by about 10 cents or so. Now I'll just get out in the mid 80s here. It'll still be a winning trade, but I probably missed that shot at the perfect price here. And I never meant to dig in. This is not a long off of VWAP consolidation looking for a break at 25. I wanted the bottom to that 25 mark. If I missed it by 10 cents, a perfect exit. A winning trade is a winning trade, and we'll take them every single time. Case closed on Oxy.
Yeah, close that case. Well, I mean, I like XOM. Neil likes Oxy. Pick your poison on that one. I want to talk about Fisker here because, like, what a bad stock this has been, guys. Yeah, this is the Fisker chart. Like, I wish it was fake, but it is not all the way straight downside there. We didn't put a buy in here at 17, so I'm still long some at 17. It was just a starter position. I may look to get in more here, as this is basically at the complete bottom. Either you believe in the company or you don't. This is an opportunity to get rich off Fisker if you believe in them. I mean, it's $10. I forget about the bottom today of 926. Like, wow, on Fisker. That's unbelievable. Some of these other ones, Churchill, we can have a look over there. We've seen Tesla. I say just at this point, honestly, I would just say stick with Tesla. But here's Ride, Lordstown as well. NQ, just having a look at that. I don't know if it's up or down today. Let's see, Ride, $7. Come on, Ride. Let's show the chart here. What are we up or down today on Ride? We were just up 2% on Fisker, so you're still down on Ride, right? Look at this. Look at this. Like, you want to talk about the EV space? I talked about it the other, negative Ride, that's for sure, Andy. All the way to the downside here. So I have no idea. Workhorse, Ride, Churchill, which, you know, all those names. Lucid, of course, Churchill. Which one's going to be the winner? I have no idea. If you believe it's going to be FSR, which I like, they've been down the road before and failed with this, but, you know, this may be worth dipping in some more today. I hate saying that, but like, really, how low can these things go before someone comes in and starts upgrading the EV space, and then you get a pop back to 13 or 14? That would be blessed at this point. Tesla goes into the money again for me. That's a day chart. Goes into the money again for me, $5, but we don't take it. So right now, man, it's a slippery slope here on Tesla. Probably should have taken that 612. That's been a top a bunch of times. Debating just putting an offer there and taking it, guys. Right now we're at 614. What's up, B?
I saw this Fluidigm, FLDM, another one, just straight to the upside this morning. There's no real significant news that I can see, but little one here, Fluidigm, FLDM, 15%, just made a day high, guys.
So many. Speaking of day highs, I just got to go over to, and I see you guys talking about some names here. We'll try to look at as many as we can, but double top on Roblox at 71. Now, it broke the first time, 71.18 or so, and looking for like a potential 71 break. Usually I'd be in a rollover trade here, but my first look was, I want to grab that long if it breaks out, so I want to get that order locked and loaded. So I kind of missed the chance for that quick little short, and I'm only shorting this if I get a really, really good price. So if I'm either getting like 75s to 80s in front of that high, or I'm not chasing it all the way to 70, 50. I'm not going to give up $1 when it's been as strong. Remember, Roblox was positive going into this, right? So you had that, you're taking these longs off stocks that were weak. And I mean, Roblox was up on the session with what I thought was decent earnings across the board. Carla Greathouse, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate all the super chats today. We said this, and I think all of us said this, that no matter what you were doing in today, it was going to be a good learning experience. We tried to go through as many symbols as we can in terms of the plan of action, and even then it was impossible to cover everything. So thankfully there were some good wins to be had, and then there were some missed opportunities as well. I mean, Virgin Galactic was ridiculous to the upside, and that was obviously a missed boat. Even the halting, I didn't see anything else that halted that was not like a ridiculously tiny stock to the upside there. Virgin probably should have been predictable as weak as it was. I still favor playing a rollover as opposed to a breakout here. I don't mind taking a long Roblox 71 off the top, but I'm not going to be doing that with Virgin Galactic if it takes it out. And there goes Roblox back through 71 even, so I am now long at 03.
Yeah, I would like that Roblox trade. And yeah, I know Neil just mentioned too as well, but thank you so much, Carla. We're glad that you traded 3D. I know we didn't really. We did go over some levels, but thank you so much, Carla. That means a lot to us. And I'm just more, happy that you're able to take that win for sure off Triple D, 3D Systems. So thank you for that, and thank you to Brendan, Valeria, and whatnot for making those watch lists what they are. I mean, that's, you know, to us, that means everything, and they're free, so that's really nice too. Okay, AMD looking to go green. That's like my next name. I was just on Tesla there, guys. Like, I wish I had more to tell you about it, but right now it just continues to fail, right? Tesla there hits that 12, I mean, a bunch of times here. It couldn't, you know, on a drop spot, 612 was pretty key, but this is right where we're long again on Tesla. So missed opportunity, man. We were like pretty well in the money there. We were $5 or $6 at one point in the money. Now we're $2 out. So, you know, again, not crying about anything. We'd just like to see this thing go back up. And obviously, as the NASDAQ goes, Tesla's going to go. So a little bit of a retracement back upside here is due. So let's see if that can get going here on Tesla. But looks like it's screaming to 600 again. So I'm not going to average. I mean, maybe I'll average in a little bit lower than this. Yeah, I think I will. We'll take a little bit more as it's coming down, and then we'll just wait for those levels. But this looks sick right now as the NASDAQ trying to break, and Tesla really just on a downward trend here. So $3 out right now, long 607, worth averaging into 600, but then after that, we got to get out.
Yeah, and this like consolidation on Roblox, it's enough for me to say, look, if it goes right away, fine. But I don't want to give it more than like 40 or 50 cents. It's going to be a relatively tight stop. Hasn't necessarily taken the high. I like fading into a level like that, especially when it's like an even break that's failed for you. But you don't want it snapping back below that 70-50 mark, and then you're giving up too much here. I do think there's. Let's just go to the daily. Maybe the 15-minute. I do think there's at least one issue that you could run into with this like 71 area, even if it does go. You sort of look at this cluster. This is like 72s, and it almost might be a better breakout at 72 the more that I look at it here. And that's another reason why I almost want to have a tighter stop. Give it that 50 pennies or so on that initial break, because I'm definitely taking the majority of this out in front of that 72 mark. So that's kind of like a 50 to $1 target on the majority of the shares. So am I really going to give it back $1? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me on that roadblock. So if we break 50s, I'll just walk away from this one and look for a VWAP retracement where you might have a little bit more room for that long to run to the upside. So watch out for that 72. Decent chance that when we come to our, and have we even said this like one time today? When we come to power hour, if this starts to go and has that fail, you could always have a look at this like 72, which support, resistance. You can always have a look at that 72, 72 quarter, potentially for a breakout in the afternoon. Have some levels in mind, like know what you're going to be watching out for. Even if I'm into this trade, it might not be the last one for me here on Roblox. So we come back, we trade the close live. It's a heck of a lot of fun for you guys. It's about 45 minutes or so. And it is on this day, I mean, I promise you, and it's easy, I can make a promise because this one's going to be kept for sure. It'll be even crazier, I think, trading the close than any other day that we've probably done. Given what I've already seen in this market today, I know it's going to be a wild one. I want to make sure some of the stocks that we think there's big opportunities on in the morning, we're right back to visiting in the afternoon. So I'm tightening the stop in Roblox. I still like the long here, but I want to make sure I give it a couple of shots. And one actually might be that VWAP retracement, which means I'm not holding it $2 against me. I'd rather just get out and then jump back in $1 later.
Yeah, I mean, to say there's going to be opportunities today, yeah, for sure. There's going to be more opportunities all day, every day. Wow, Rocket, 16 today, 1670. You want to talk about another name that is just beat down and beat up? Like, I wonder what like the net asset values here on some of these stocks are, guys, as they just continue to be pummeled through. I don't know what's going on with some of these names. Rocket Mortgages right now down that 5p, and yeah, look at this, earnings cruising. Like this 50 period on a few of these names, man. DraftKings, Palantir, it's really created a downward drift in a lot of these as Rocket just taking down all-time lows, man. We came out here at 17. I think Rocket's first ever birthday was 22, and now you're right down. So you're going to find a lot of these. We talked about Affirm, we talked about Lemonade, Snowflake. Actually, Snowflake, I have not bought yet. That's probably getting absolutely pummeled. Yeah, 195. Remember on Snow, again, we have to wait. I don't know when Snowflake earnings are, Valeria. Maybe you can look up that. Snow. Lots of that in Russia. Here it is. This was that break, 243, that we were talking about, because again, it would have been a break of that 50 period, right? There's the Snowflake break. Never happened. And it's just the same thing. Like, look at this 50 period. And it's easy when you look back. That's why like I don't love charting to be like an exact science, although some people claim that it is, and that's fine. But look, like that is just unbelievable movement to the downside. Like, to get short here and believe in this, wow, Snowflake just continues like Palantir, man. A lot of these names getting crushed. Snowflake just one of them. So giddy up, guys. I don't know where we buy some of these names. I'm not in these yet, but that's why I'm saying let's stick with the best of breed if we can. Let's stick with Microsoft's, Apple's. We bought some Ford the other day as well at 11.31. That could have been bought. Wait a minute, I said 11.25 today. We almost got down there. But yeah, so I'm sticking with the good ones. We don't get our long there on this. What? Is that? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God, I'm at 602.20. It went to 602.23. I thought I was, oh well, it doesn't matter. Tesla now on the way back up, but we still do have that long bid down here on Tesla. Unbelievable. We missed it by 3 cents. I know you had an example like that earlier on Oxy as well.
It happens. It was on Coinbase, but look, this is the thing, and I think we talk about multiple ways that you can get into a trade. Passive orders, being aggressive, and usually when you get a bounce off a level like that, the aggressive entry is better. But I can tell you, when you're trading multiple symbols, sometimes you just have to go with the passive order because you're looking somewhere else. You know you have that bid in there. You might have that stop. That's the downside. There's always a price to be paid for whatever action. There's no such thing as a free lunch. If you want to have that good passive order sitting and waiting for it, sometimes you're sitting on the bid and it runs away from you in that particular case. Whereas if you see it bounce off 280, you just cross the spread and punch into, we call it punching into position when you've been trading a long time. You're not literally punching anything, but you're aggressively taking that offer, and then you're looking for something, and you probably get that entry point. I wouldn't have missed it in Coinbase if I had the level 2 up, and it was the only thing I was trading. I wouldn't be sitting on the bid. I'd be waiting for the bounce. I'd be removing liquidity on the way up with the finger on the trigger ready to go, or even with some kind of like a stop order. Like you'd almost do like a trail up. So if it bounces at 50 pennies from here, I'll just go into the long side. Lots of ways you can do it, but you do risk missing out. And Coinbase holding up pretty well. I mean, I thought I'd get another shot below VWAP here, maybe around that 280. No chance. So this one is, for now, kind of off of my radar because I don't love the long off 285. None of those have really worked out too well. I have a couple of shorts. One is good. The other is Workhorse. Oops. I can't spell Workhorse, apparently. WKHS, that's a symbol. I can do that. Right back up towards the top. I've resisted the temptation to average in. One of the reasons is, if I'm looking at that top end, they get that rollover, it has to actually start failing for me here. I like to join selling as opposed to like dig in too hard, starting it off the top. And it's like, why even bother adding it like 10s or 15s if it's just screaming into the high of the day, which is exactly what it's doing at that 820, 825. So it's getting close to that decision point. It breaks the high, I'm out. If it starts to fail off this level, I'll get some more shares at 810, and then I would improve my price. But there's always a plan of action for me. And that's the thing, like if it immediately rolls over to VWAP, then okay, then I don't have my full entry point, but that's fine. You got to be willing to understand that, like, there's no way I'm going to start it at $8 and then just take any random amount of shares in on an average in. You have your risk to reward, you have the entry point, there's an amount that you're willing to lose here, and it either gives me the entry or it doesn't. If we don't roll over, this will be another one a second time that we tried in Workhorse to the south side, and it's determined to go up on me today.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Workhorse, like, I hate a lot of these names today just because of the EV space, but we're rocking and rolling right now. We go back to the biggest and the baddest of them so far. FB, we're loving some Facebook. We'll see if it can go. We're long right now at 30/30s. So $30, 33 cents right now on Facebook. So we're rocking this and just seeing where we're going to go from here on this name. So Facebook, a nice little out there. Sorry, I wasn't even on Facebook there. My bad. As you can go up there, long in front of 300, out right there at 64. So a nice 30-cent win. We're holding some for some more upside here on FB. Brendo.
All right, just sifting through some more things that reported, guys. This is another one. Everbridge, EVBG, up 8.5%. Just making day highs here, 120. This thing has also come off significantly in the past couple of months. This is a software maker, a little bit thin, but heads up, EVBG, better than expected earnings, guys.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And immediately testing, we just talked about this in Workhorse, but immediately testing that 8 quarter. Now, I don't like stops at those random 820s or whatnot, so I'm always going to move it to that quarter. Look, it has not come back to 811. If it did that, I'd be looking at a failure at the high of the day and then getting back into shares, which I just told you about. It's still testing that top. If it does roll over, maybe back in that 10-15 range, this is what I was mentioning. Get back in, get into some more shares, but it has to do it first. It's about at that quarter mark, so you might see me get stopped out live. The only other position I have on is going to be that FireEye. This one's starting to slide back in. Now, I said if this is what you're talking about. Like, it starts to roll over, starts to fail off that high of the day. I took a few more shares in here. Basically, everything has been above 80, which I got to do because I don't want to be chasing it too far. And if it tests 20 even, I want to leave some room to be able to get some shares at 90. This one working out much, much better than, of course, what you're seeing happen in Workhorse, which is testing right off of that top.
Yeah, and go FB go. We just took another 72 print there for 40 cents. So a good trade there on FB. We're just waiting to see, where does it want to go from here, man? I'm gonna take it another piece here if I can get it there. 63s out. A lot of volume. Easy to trade this name with whatever kind of share size you want. A lot of them are like sub hundreds here coming off, but there it goes. Let's go, Facebooks. Let's see if we can't get going now, man. We're about to get pretty elevated here if this can go. Facebook right now, 60 cents in the money or 50 cents, 60 now in the money on Facebook. And Tesla, hello, coming back to life here. I still cannot believe that we were there, missed by 7 cents or whatever that was on Tesla. But now it's starting to go a little bit. We're still waiting at these highs, like 612-ish. I may change this to 610, 611. That was a little scary on that move down. But we would be in the money huge if that average came in, but it didn't, so that's okay. And there goes Facebook. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with fire on FB all the way to the upside there. So a nice little out, not out yet, but nice move there for Facebook. Let's see if we can't hold that move heading to the upside. Watch the NASDAQ go. I'm debating getting out of this Tesla, but I really, really think if the NASDAQ just has one more push, we get to that 612. So we're going to hold on to Tesla. This one is really the most risky. Like, for me, I don't want to say it's risky because it's Tesla. It's not. I share size down, right? Like, we trade with way different shares on Tesla than we do on Palantir. It's just, I don't have the best feeling for this one just because of what happened right here. It should have gone. I feel like it didn't. So now we're back busting out through VWAP and trying. I could get out for flat, but again, I want to see if it can go. So one more time maybe here on Tesla, and then we'll see what it wants to do from there.
So I want to, if I can very, very quickly, I want to get into this SQBG here. They got some new financing. That's going to be the news. But the story for me is going to be this $15 area that you're going to see on the charts here. This is a previous low off 15. You're going to get the breakdown. You're going to get this high here right at like 1480. It just screamed into this range on volume into 15 and double topped it here. So in this consolidation, I am short. I just got it at 1464. I want to leave some room. If I can get like 75 to 80, something in this range as well. It's a very, very tight stop for a stock which has gone from 970 all the way to 15 even, but I want to show you guys a daily chart as to why I care about that 15. If it can't hold and it breaks out through that price, I'm with you guys. I'd probably go to a reverse long just because the volume has been so good here going into this level. I think it would probably add some juice through a 15 even, but first things first, I am short. I did just try to add. I don't know why I didn't get the shares here. I'll see if I can't pick up that extra entry point around that 70 mark. But SQBG, a couple of people asked about it. I was looking at it. We got the shorts really cheap for a cent a share at Day Trade the World. And then I found a level that I liked and was right here at 15, so just jumped in.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm still watching this, man. We just took that dollar, 80 something cents there on Facebook. So hide your eyes as we're going to do the little belly dance action right now on that FB. So a good trade there. More to come, I'm hoping, on Facebook. So we'll wait to see if it does have that print in it to get a little bit higher. But we're basically flat now on Facebook, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outs. So we'll wait. We'll hold on to a last little bit, see if we can get higher on this name. But really happy. Tesla now turning positive. It's in the money, 50 cents. And these paper hands of mine thinking about getting out, and I don't want to. So we do have the order upside. Hopefully we just get ticked out there, and then we won't have to be forced out of our trade. So hopefully we can get out here around that 612 area. We've talked about why we like that. So let's just keep going to the upside now with Tesla and see where this one lands. But 605, it's now $1 in the money. We held this $4 against us and tried to pick up those 602s, and you heard the woe is me story there. We missed it, but that's okay. So now we go upside. Let's see, where's my offer? Basically 612. So I may change this a little downside here. Maybe 611 now instead of 612, but good movement for Tesla. Let's see if it holds 600 still.
And guys, if you see that UFS, remember Brennan talked about there was a cash deal, UFS. If you see that pop into my blotter, that is a buyout. It's a 55.50 cash. They have a little bit of a dividend as well, but I wanted to short that one anywhere close to that price, and it starts getting up there towards that 55. I don't know that it's going to be. I mean, it actually might be a decent trade for like a mover. Usually buyouts aren't, but it might not be sexy enough for a lot of you guys. If you see that one in there, if I'm not really ignoring it, I just don't think usually the buyouts I talk too much about them because they're kind of been boring. But if that gets above 55, it could certainly get interesting. This SQBG is going to be front of the mind, consolidating off 15. It's now bounced a couple more times off this level and trying to do that retracement. I got 67s to the short side. Let's see if it can't get back into 14, and then VWAP where I'd hold on to the last quarter. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
I mentioned this Jumaya a little bit earlier on, JMIA, trying to get back to positive. Like, what a move. On some of these stocks today, this 23.5 area, 21 was that last kind of area we were looking at. So I got out in front of 22 because there was a giant seller there, but that doesn't matter apparently. Right through 22.5 now for JMIA. Still going, guys.
We're near the high of the day for ourselves right now. You know, I obviously wish, there goes Facebook right now. I may just take this out. Yeah, you know what? Let's see if we can get Facebook out here around 70 where we just ticked to. Because you know what? Like if the NASDAQ goes, then we're gonna have Tesla on board anyways. So let's get out right now. Come on, let's give me that smooth $1.50 right now. If we can get her $1.30 here on Facebook. That's what we're talking about. Did we just get those? No, we're waiting at 68. So 65, there it is. Are we out? Yes, we are. Bang, there it is again, man. Superman Valeria is back in the building today. Negative stocks, NEPA, one negative stock. Apple winner, Baba winner, DraftKings winner, Facebook winner, Palantir winner, PaySafe winner, Tesla pending. So that's 7 and 1. And the only stock that we've missed today is Microsoft, which is crazy because obviously it's way above where we had it. It's actually trying to take out highs right now. Okay, Tesla. Bang, there it is. There's the $5 on Tesla. So unplugged or not, we just take that profit. There it is. We're going to go 8 for 1 today, Miss V. That's not horrible. We'll look. Yeah, that's a good one, right? We'll wait to see if we can make a little bit more money, though. Come back and join us in the afternoon. I'm pumped up right now, and I've had 1 coffee, so there you go.
Sun Hands Mrak, thank you for the super chat there. I haven't looked at Sens all day today. ICNS, obviously, the daily chart's going to tell you a story, so I understand why you're probably shorting into the strength that it had. I'm going to, I have to make a couple assumptions here. One, let me know, is this short off that high, that 185? Maybe you're looking like a 182. Certainly, usually I'd be taking some profit at VWAP there, in any case you have. It's still trying to hold a downward trend, but you can't ignore the fact that it's bounced off of VWAP on you here, and if it comes back down, take that like 10 cents. It's a good mark. It's about 5% of a return. And then after that, I mean, I would be inclined to take a few more out in front of 170, but you want to hold some down into the 165 range, guys, so watch out for that at SENS. If that wasn't what you were talking about, short off the high of the day, that was the first thing that popped into my mind. So thank you for the super chat. We try to talk about as many symbols as we can. I hadn't looked at it yet. Sends basically flat in the session, but I can see why on the pop it might have been worth it for that little bit of a short. I've talked about FireEye all morning long. I back into this one, as I did mention, that we'd be a little bit stubborn with it. I don't mind, but we're back at that 20. So first short, right at 83. Our second short, essentially the same price, 81.5. I mean, it's sort of splitting hairs here. If it holds at 20, I'm still looking at the same targets to the outside. If I get more shares and it rolls off at 20 even here, I'd probably take some out of 1975. But it looks like we might be going 1 for 2 today on FireEye if it breaks 20. 1 for 3 if you count yesterday's action. But the market is bouncing back to the upside, so we have to watch out for this FireEye breaking through 20. You can't short it forever. If it's going to break, it's going to break, no matter how much I don't like the stock.
Neil, I don't think you traded enough symbols today.
Never.
How many? I think you have like 40 or something. I just saw it flare on the bottom. It was like your list is nonstop.
There we go.
I've traded a lot too today, guys. 170 fills. Here's Tesla. It was a money stock, but like my paper hands. We talk about that. And, I was...
Oh, the SQBG. So remember the short off this one quickly. Broke that 15. Reversed to the long, said it was good because of the volume. By the way, I never actually hold these, just so you know. So when you see me get out instantly, 15, 16s all the way, it just got like a 60-cent win on the second half of it. I just never do this. I don't like holding in these long trades when usually I'm a short side trader here, but that quickly broke. I know some of you guys were watching it there. Obviously, the long was much better than the short trade. We did have both of them but I feel like there's going to be a fantastic short at some point on the stock. The volume just through the roof, still making fresh volume highs on every one of these wicks here. And now it's $16 almost. Crazy SQBG. At least we got a piece of it.
Yeah, I was saying I want to find something here because I want to talk about this. Thank you so much, Giancarlo. There, what's on my paisan there? $5. Thank you so much. €5. We will start drinking, man. Stay hydrated. I've messed up the Hydration Nation today because, as you can see, man, we're like at the 9 a.m. level. That's not good. So we got to wait for that one. Thank you so much there. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the OKs. Thank you, Christian, for acknowledging Giancarlo there. Oh, he got his own hashtag. Good job. Yeah, so thank you so much for that, man. This has just been I don't know, a little bit of a humbling day because we started the day talking about, stick with us, guys, and we'll work your way. Thank you, Randy. Randy the man, and I see what he did here. Check this out. So this is a little poo emoji cup, and then it has some nice words. What does it say? Maybe you can see it there. Oh, right? So oh, whatever that is. So there you go. Thank you, Randy, for that coffee. Although we're almost done the show, but I mentioned I only had one. So Randy, thank you so much. Tuesday, my favorite day because it's Randy Day. He'll be ringing the closing bell, and hopefully when he rings that, we do it on time this time, Neil. That was a mistake for us off the open.
Neil was, look, I got tripped up. I was watching so many things off the open. I'm like, oh my God, look at Neo. And I'm like, oh crap, it's already 9:30.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't know. Remember, I was like, oh, look at Neo. It's ripping here. What's going on? Oh yeah, the market's open, right? So so that's what happened there. Tesla, nice. I mean, look, I can complain about the out, but it's right here. So we're really happy. We don't have to worry about that. The NASDAQ just goes to day's high again, man. Will we turn positive? I almost feel like, our poll just closing, should be just closing now anyways, if it's not already. 0 minutes left on the poll, guys. Thank you so much. 700 votes. I'm going to round up, the eternal optimist. I'm not really, but there it is. 660. So below, so right now that's going to win. So if you want to win this bet, you could, or this poll right here, you can hit below right now because we are almost finished. Thank you so much for all the support on that, guys. That's, really happy. Thank you. Like to see where we go with that. I'll put up another one, and I don't know what you guys want, but let me some ideas. Tweet at me what you want for the poll. But we've talked about crypto before, and again, there it is, man. Ether, never ever doubt Ethereum. I'm just, people do, and I was told yesterday when I said I sold ADA, they said that's fine, just don't sell Ether all the way back through 4,000 again, man. Made that bottom of 3,500 yesterday. I can't even see it anymore. It was about 4 p.m. and now ripping right back up. So that's another 15% from that bottom. So I don't know where crypto's going, but I do know one thing: all the bottoms seem to be being bought up. What is Facebook at right now? Are you kidding me right now? Guys, Facebook, this is a $4 winner there. And I only took this 10 minutes ago on Facebook. Wow, that's embarrassing. We would be through the moon right now if we still had that one, but at least somebody has it, guys. I hope. Facebook, wow, what happened?
I hope something, yeah, I mean, we always hope that somebody's making the winners, so either when we take things out too early or we miss them altogether. And also to double down on that, I really hope someone hung on to the SQBG to the long side. That's one of the reasons I kind of pointed out that it had such strong volume going into the top. And that's the difference. Like, I'm going to short this setup no matter what, right? But the difference between me getting into this, and I don't want long in FireEye. Sorry. I just got stopped out of FireEye. They're at 20, so I want to make sure. I accidentally went long at 02s. I'll just get out flat of it. I don't want that long at all, not in FireEye. But the reason why it was a reversal for me was the fact that the volume was so big at the top end of the range. I mean, the stock is up like 60%, and they're buying it hand over fist as it's battling at the top end instead of tapering off. That's why it was a reversal. I wish I'd hung on. Now it's at like 16.50, and I took like, first leg out for 30 cents and the next leg out for 60 cents. I'm like, I'll always scalp those every single time. At some point, I should start holding on to those. I just can't believe in them when they're so overbought like this. Is what it is. SQBG. Hope somebody got it. Brendo?
I was just going to mention that Blink. Somebody was saying, wow, Blink. Yeah, a huge move for this thing as well. Now up almost 3%. This was down hilariously. 26.5 was the bottom there for Blink. They picked up a company called Blue Corner, which is in Europe. So they're trying to expand their charging station network over in Europe. So they bought a company called Blue Corner. That was the headline for BLNK, guys.
Blue corner, huh? Okay, yeah, we talked, and again, like you mentioned there, Brendan, we did talk about that in the pre-market. Like I just tweeted out, like that Facebook was basically on crack because we bought here at 301, we bought here again at $300, basically. Our average price was 330. So, oh yeah, 30.33. Remember we talked about that? 333 cents. Yeah, now it's at 304 and 33 cents. So that's $4 straight up. We take that out at VWAP. Think we're doing pretty good with $1.50 there, remember? I was like, please give me $1.50. Yeah, now it says thank you very much to that one. So we're going to go perfect on the day. I mean, this Microsoft is not perfect, but again, just like we said, man, that 244 was a gift a couple days ago. My only losing trade today is going to be a Microsoft long at 243.80. So there you go. I'm glad. Is that 2,000 or 1,500? Guys, what the, like, if you haven't hit this yet, here, and we know there's a problem with YouTube right now on the like side of things. Like right now, mine says 65, so you just hit refresh. And guys, I need you. Let's get this to 2,000 here. It's been a monster show, 170 fills, multiple dollar winners. We just crushed that Tesla for you as well. And what's Tesla up right now? Probably even higher than that. Let's see if we can't get that to 2,000, and Valeria will do a dance, guys. So if you could do that, Valeria will do the dance. Thank you so much for supporting us with only 3 minutes left. What a crazy day. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So they actually took a video of me doing this. That was a couple days ago. So there we go. We do the backflips and celebrate our big day again today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's towards the end of the day, but this is a trade I can't miss out on, and I'll let the 17 break on SQBG. I'm going to show you why. This is a level here on the 5th, and then on the 6th, you have some consolidation right at the bottom end of the range. This is a price I think it's worth taking in to that south side, and if it breaks it, there's some room to that 1750 area. But it feels like a good fail price for this stock for some bag holders right around 17. Brendo?
All right, here we go. We are still in earnings season, obviously. There's still some interesting names to get through, although last night and this morning were probably as good as it's going to get. Here's a look at what's coming up either after market or before the open tomorrow.
Open door? I went Chesapeake Energy. I mean,
Yeah, I left it for you.
Oh, yeah, you mean lemonade?
No. We're in the middle.
Oh, yeah, but Sean, I haven't been as big on like Sundial, and it's like,
Yeah, I got you.
Look, man, like, let's just say this though. If somehow Sundial ends up making a bit of a run, this is like a Nicholas situation. If Sundial makes a ramp to the upside, I'm probably going to lose money shorting it tomorrow. There's probably a decent chance of that, but I haven't been that interesting to me lately, so I'm not really on my radar. I know you want to talk about it there, but I'll be much more interested in probably looking at that lemonade and open door maybe as well there. But I think if I learned a lesson today, it's like, yes, the earnings were fantastic, but there were a few missed opportunities on stocks that were on the radar from yesterday, or, you know, like I looked at Uber, which I was all about here before, and then sort of got hung up on some of those earnings, and which was rightfully so, but there's other names that if you look at a day two type play and you love a level, you want to be all over it. Like Coinbase was not an earnings play, but that was my best stock today, and I kind of knew that was going to be the case. I didn't like anything better than the longs ever since that 250 on Coinbase. And I missed one shot on it, which is better than missing my only shot in yesterday's price action. Before we get out of here, that is QBG. It's trying to roll over. I tried to spit out as fast as I can. The reason I like that 17, regardless of the fact that it broke. If it rolls down here, I want another leg out in front of 16 even, and then I'm hoping this is like the floodgate back into at least 15 or VWAP. If it's not, I will continue to maintain I'm getting out at the high of the day. Now that's at 17.25. Before I wanted to allow it to break. It's trying to get to the downside. This is a hell of a strong stock, guys. That's why I tried the reverse long. I will not go long at 17 this time. Whew, it's been a crazy one. And we still haven't even done what National Day it is.
You're right, Neil. What a crazy, exciting day, guys. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. We're so blessed to have this community to support each other on days like this, celebrate wins, losses, doesn't matter. We all together and we love each other. Well, we'll be back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to trade the close together. And guys, happy National Eat What You Want Day. Sean, if you would be able to eat anything right now, what it would be?
I like sandwiches. Like I mean, because we're coming out to lunch, my favorite sandwich, like a meatball sub or veal parmesan, something like that. That would be mine. How about yourself, Valeria?
Pasta. Spaghetti.
Some spaghetti. Okay, he's got some Italian.
Sandwiches are beautiful.
Uh,
Sandwiches
Neil?
are fun. I like sandwiches. I eat them all the time. You know what? My favorite. Sorry guys. My daughter is absolutely obsessed with Fred Penner, so I know all of the songs and I grew up on them. If it's a sandwich, anything with mustard is a condiment and not mayonnaise. You know that. But my favorite food in the whole world
is pizza with pineapple.
Yeah, that's funny. Sorry.
We already got him. Yeah, that was what it was. So see, we were right. So it was pizza with pineapple.
I can't say look, no, absolutely 100% no, unequivocally no. I could go for a little bit of pulled pork or some ribs, man. That's what it's all about.
You took it right out of my mouth. I was going to actually say pizza, but
What were you, ribs, Brendo?
no, I was going to say pizza, but you took it right out of my
No
mouth.
pineapple, man.
Not necessarily with pineapple, but pizza.
But most likely with
Definitely
pineapple.
You guys are just saying that because you know about it.
Neil, you love pineapple. Okay, let's just get that.
You know what?
Yeah, Neil's just joke. No, he actually does not. So.
I'm not joking. I really don't like pineapple on pizza. This is not to be funny. This is not to. I don't get it. I really don't understand why people enjoy it. It's so weird to me.
Guys, Tesla 617. Neil, it's been a big day, man. I hope everyone joins us for the after show, for the afternoon show, 3:15. We're back live, guys.
Yes, sir. You know what we got to do for the entire team right down the line. No pineapple on your pizza. Miss V for Sean
pineapple.
Katina. Boom, Facebook. That was ridiculous. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you with the close, and it's going to be a wild one.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
See you guys.